a little too hard right now. What's up, guys? You guys are ready? You guys ready for some David Benavidez and David Morrell? I know I am. What's up, Mike J? What up, Katie? So I wanted to do something a little different. We do have footage coming. We do have content coming. The Ish, what's up, man? Monster by Split. I figured that we can do, well, like a live watch party, right? A reaction to the grand arrivals, right? What up, Bud? Don't stop. Canelo. What's up? All right, I'm just gonna cut the long intro. I'm gonna go straight into, where is it? Boom. All right, perfect. Eric Grand, Brian Lane, Troy Springs, Rub. Let's go, right? So this is what I'm proposing with you guys, right? Granted, there is going to be the grand arrivals footage that we will be receiving, right? But I thought it'd be cool to interact with you guys and actually have a live reaction to the grand arrivals, right? So pretty much, because of copyright issues, right? I'm going to be playing audio from the grand arrivals. If you want to pull it up, you can watch it with me. But we have people at the event who will be bringing us footage, and I'll be playing the footage once we receive it, from interviews to all the behind the scenes stuff. So this is kind of like the work desk area, all right? But in the meantime, if you guys want to have like a crew to watch or listen, I'll be playing audio when every time they bring someone on stage, but I won't be able to, yeah. But we do have people. So let me shout everyone out real quick in the chat. Mike J, what's up? What's up? Actually, hold on. Let me pull up the bigger screen so you guys can see. And I want your predictions too. This is also what I want to do. I want to start taking the predictions from each day that I go live. And by Sunday comes, I want to get all the people who have actually, I guess there's a lot of guys picking Benavidez, right? But I want to take some of you guys' comments, predictions, things like that, and kind of make like a video or make a compilation. And if you're right, you might get in there, especially if you get the round right. If you got Morrell as the underdog and he's right, you know, I'm going to be going through the comments and doing that. So, but let me shout out everyone in the chat real quick. Mike J, what's up, fellas? Yes, sir. FightHype, let's go. What up, Katie? The Ish, Monster by Split. So I got David Benavidez, right? In like a 60-40 kind of fight. And the only reason why I'm picking David is just because of experience, right? Cliche. But I think Morrell, if anyone can do it, Morrell can. Canelo's ducking these two. I mean, I know a lot of what some people say Canelo fans is rooting for Morrell, right? No, I'm just joking. Let's go Morrell. What up, Eric? What up, Brian? Troy Springs in the building. I'm going to bet David Morrell decision. Okay. Rub Eagle. Let's go. Karina, Little Monkey. Around the board. Yes, sir. Morrell and 9 early KD and KO. What's up, bro? I'm excited. I love boxing, man. This is a good time. This is a great time, right? Because really at the end of the day, you know, we've been kind of waiting throughout January. Nothing really exciting's happened. We were teased with the Steven Nelson and Diego Pacheco, right? You know, it was cool. That was cool. But David Benavidez and David Morrell is a fight. Like, every fight fan's ready. What's up, bro? What's up, man? Victorville, who do you got? Oh, man, that's what's up, man. Victorville is a big boxing town, especially right now. I got David Benavidez right now. But maybe throughout the week, you guys can maybe change my mind. If there's some David Morrell guys that have a good, you know, here, let me pop this up real quick. If you guys have some good takes, I'm all ears, man. Let me put this, pull this up real quick. All right, let me cut the audio. Let me pause this. All right, cool. All right, so I'll be showing like stills of the stream, but I'll be primarily playing the audio. So we'll be reacting together. Benavidez in 8, but honestly, I think Benavidez is going to get dropped. You know what? Honestly, if Morrell drops Benavidez, I think he finishes him. Like, I think if Morrell can actually get the job done, it starts by dropping him, hurting him, You know, I don't see Morrell just dropping Benavidez and then Benavidez like skating by. I think Morrell is a wonderful finisher, and I think he's gonna get the job done if he actually hurts him. David Benavidez by stoppage. Benavidez in round 8 KO. Cowboys Nation. Take on sports. You should be there. I'll be at a couple fights. I'll be at Keyshawn's coming up in a couple weeks, and I'll be at Tank's. It's hard to be at everywhere. But we have coverage. We have people there. So FightHype's everywhere. Morrell's going to drop him. Damn, that's the second time I see Morrell's going to drop. Do you guys think that David Morrell will actually be capable of dropping David Benavidez? Not just boxing, winning, you know, but actually hurting him and getting him out of there. What's up? Benavidez is stopping him. Benavidez is going to win, but he's getting dropped by a flash knockdown. That's the third time I've seen someone says Benavidez is getting dropped. Holy shit. Morrell for a brutal knockout in the 10th. Benavidez in 9. You know what? The chat is pretty torn, honestly. I thought I would see a lot more. And updating the still real quick. Hold on. Let me see if I get this thing updated. Is it not updated yet? Okay. All right. Let me get some audio going.
The wait is finally over, and we know that, right? Hello, guys. Now I want to hear you because we're about to have the best fight in next Saturday. This Saturday.
What's up, man?
So, how are you guys?
All right. So let me lower this and get to some of you guys' chat. They're just doing some of their grand arrival talks. So I don't even know who some of these people they're getting on, but it's cool. It's a good look. They're putting some new faces on. You got David by stoppage. You're watching John Eastern Cornwell. Of course, man. I'm watching both of those guys, man. I've been covering them for a while out in Vegas. Benavidez by brutal KO. Everybody who's Team Benavidez, put Team Benavidez. Wow, 4 people here are saying 8th round. Everyone's been kind of saying 8th and 9th and 10th. Like, I don't see any early ones. I had Morrell, but it's a 50-50 fight. That's fair. To be honest, if anyone who picked Morrell or Benavidez, like, it really, this is a pick'em fight. If you pick Benavidez, it's just because you feel like he has a lot more experience, right? He fought better opposition. He's proven. But if you pick Morrell, you know, he can box, he can move, he has power, he has the equal size, he has the IQ. So you realize the type of threat Benavidez has fighting this guy. So Benavidez is flat foot. Johnny, what's up, Johnny? Troy Springs, Benavidez fighting someone his size like his last fight, but Morrell young unlike his last opponent. What up, Bo TB? Team David. Stopping him in 8 after he beats him down. Benavidez is going to get dropped, then get back in KO in the 8th. Wow. I didn't see the Andre Ward interview yet. I plan on watching it this week. So maybe I'll watch it tonight, Mark, and then tomorrow when I go live again. You know, unless there's some stuff. I saw like some of the stuff about the Canelo stuff leaking out. The clips, but I haven't had a chance to sit down and watch all of it.
Taking on rising star Jesus Ramos Jr. in a 10-round showdown that kicks off the pay-per-view. He owns a record of 24 victories.
This is really interesting for a grand arrival because they've always done the grand arrivals at like the front of the MGM Grand. So like you would walk in and then they would have the line in the ring. And then right there is the grand arrival. But this seems different. Is this the media workout portion first? Did he just not do grand arrivals first? Alright, I'm a little confused how they got their setup going on. They're the same age, but Monster has to be done more in his career. No excuses. If Morrell can't hurt David or keep him honest, it'll be over.
This is yours. You feel the energy of these people. How are you? ¿Cómo estás?
Bien, 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 gracias a Dios.
All right, so they got Jason Rosario in the ring right now.
Viendo muchas personas aquí de vuelta a los escenarios grandes y pero súper excitado por todo esto que está pasando en mi vida.
I'm really happy right now. I'm super excited. Big card, big stage, great fan base. So I can't wait for this weekend. It's gonna be really fun.
Mangú Power. Eso, aquí viene el merengue ripiado. Jason, you just said you're back in the big stage. How does it feel different from before? Are you prepared for what's coming up next Saturday? ¿Estás listo, preparado para lo que vas a enfrentar? Because you have a very tough opponent this Saturday.
Jason Rosario has been through the gauntlet. I don't know if he's able to get through Ramos. What do you guys think? This is a tough fight for Jason, man. This might be his kind of end of his career kind of fight.
Claro, sin quitarle mérito a mi oponente, Jesús Ramos, venimos para
What up, R-Strokes? Great work. Love you grind. Yeah, I got Benavidez more battle tested. Appreciate it, man.
Bueno,
Well, I am 100% ready for this because I had a great training camp. And I'll tell you what, I'm here to rip Jesus.
Truth, you
Ramos
got it
to
wrong.
pieces
You
because
sleeping
it's what
on
it's all
Monster.
about. To show out, show off, and it's gonna be a great fight on Saturday.
Jason, Jesús Ramos dijo que esta es una pelea muy importante para ti. Eso.
Morrell in 6. Benavidez never been hit by power like Morrell.
How does the pressure feel?
This is gonna be probably his biggest guy that hits like a truck in their youth and their prime. So
en peleas duras, en peleas grandes. Sí, no presiono. Ya
German got Morrell for the upset. Morrell ain't fighting nobody. It really does come down to experience. What up, Mr. Glove?
realmente el mayor deseo
Monster spar with a lot bigger fighters. He's also fought better fighters. Hopefully it's like Hagler Hearns. Yo, that'd be crazy.
I don't feel pressure.
Is the audio too quiet?
It's more of a commitment to everyone that has come here to see this fight, to my team, to myself, to be able to do what I came here to do. Because in the end, what we want to do is provide a great fight for the fans, and Saturday, February 1st, it's going to be fireworks.
¿Qué le quieres decir a los fans que están deseosos de verte este sábado? What do you want to tell to the fans that they want to see you this Saturday?
Realmente, esta es la mejor etapa de Banana. Banana es un tipo totalmente diferente, detrás y delante de cámara. Verdaderamente lo que pasó y ahora hay un nuevo Banana, realmente hay Banana para rato.
Well, my nickname is Banana, and I can tell you that Banana is a whole different person outside of the ring than inside the ring. You're gonna see the best of me inside the ring, and the past is the past. Now Banana has come here to shine and to be the best Banana that I can be.
Perfect. So we're looking to.
I ain't gonna lie, like I know that's like a culture nickname, but that's like a diabolical nickname. To just be like, yo, Banana's coming after you, bro. That's mad diabolical.
Por Ramos. ¿Tienes un mensaje para Ramos?
No, el mensaje se lo mando directamente.
Benavidez
sábado.
doesn't work his
El
core,
sábado
and
le
he's
vamos
never
a dar
been
mensaje
hit by a guy
directamente
who's a body
a
puncher.
Ramos. Él dice que
Demetrius
el único
Andrade tried to
que
do some body punching, but you know he's a smaller
obviamente creo que
guy.
Algo un poquito
Benavidez overrated. You've seen his last fight, guy his size when he couldn't finish. You know, Troy, I was at that fight. He did show his hand. It looked messed up. So if it allegedly is damaged, then I give him the benefit of the doubt, because they had a media workout where they just strangely canceled for that fight. And 9 times out of 10 when they cancel a media workout out of nowhere, they either have some sort of like sparring cut or an injury.
Jesus Ramos,
And
he said
that was
he's
my
gonna knock me
conclusion
out,
to
huh?
that.
Well, it seems like he's a little cocky. He's getting a little bit too cocky, if you ask me. So, you know what they say? When you get too high on yourself, then the fall is going to be even harder. So get ready, because the fall is going to be tough for Jesus Ramos Jr.
So, Banana, show us what you got. Banana, esto es tuyo, el ring.
Ladies and
Adelante.
gentlemen, there he is, Jason Rosario.
Man, I hate that nickname with a passion. All right, so this is what they're doing. So this is something different that PBC has like not done. They've usually done the grand arrivals, then the media workout. Unless they're doing the media work, I don't know. This is different. But Jason Rosario is now in the ring doing some workout, and I gotta cut the audio because there's new music playing. But what up, Southpaw? Appreciate you always coming in, showing some love, man. Never use protection, y'all. It's crazy. Hope everything's been good with you, man. Hopefully you get that 100K plaque. I know it's coming. Who do you have in this fight, man? I never saw a purpose for a grand arrival. It feels like, how do I say, like, it feels like it's kind of watered down a little bit, because usually, like, all the grand arrivals I've covered is mixed, right? Some grand arrivals, there's a lot of fans, and then sometimes, you know, it's kind of dead, you know. But I guess it's just to kind of try to get some of the locals to kind of get involved, because they kind of walk around a little bit. They go, oh, what's that over there in the front entrance? Oh, there's a boxing match. And if there's maybe some tickets still left, it kind of, I guess, brings some eyeballs a little bit. But as a diehard boxing fan like us, you know, it really doesn't really do anything for us, really. It's more for the local scene. So I agree. I think even like when we look at like views, like for grand arrivals, you know, there's, you know, the views are more at the press conferences when they're talking trash. The views are at like the weigh-ins. That's where everyone wants to see. So I second that. The ring looks tiny. This is just their media workout, you know, so that they can kind of get some media footage and some coverage, which even then media workouts footage never even gets me excited. Like, I never really search the internet. Like, I know when I go to these events and I film these things and cover, you know, I'm thinking in my mind, like, I really don't even look up media workout. So, you know, it's just one of those days for the fans, as you can see, for the viewers or at the scene, just to kind of see some of these fighters up close and maybe try to sell some walk-up tickets. PBC listens to Tank's team. I mean, he's like their cash cow. I don't see why they wouldn't. I was inspired by that Banana nickname. I'm gonna name my next child after him. What a legend. Yo, when he beat J-Rock at DC, when I went there, I didn't expect him to beat him. And then all of a sudden he comes out and he starts praising the Banana and things like that. That was just a different time. Troy take him to the late rounds. Benny throws more volume. What up, Kush Pat? You say Abdullah Mason's the truth. I mean, you know, he has a lot of the skills. He has a lot of the goods, but you know, he's still young. You know, he made some mistakes out in Norfolk. Hopefully his defense tightens up. You know. You want me to look up the odds? All right. Benavidez won up split unanimous because he throws. All right. So they got Jesus Ramos. I'm gonna look up the odds right now while I play some Jesus Ramos audio. What up, Mr. Quate? Benavidez versus let me get some of that music off. Alright, so they did the face-off in the ring. Jesus Ramos. You said it was a plus 150 for Morrell? Damn, that's kind of close. That's like a pick'ems fight. I see on this website, David Benavidez is a minus 200. David Morrell is a plus 162. That's pretty close. Yeah, I cut the music down. Yeah, David Morrell plus 170. David Benavidez minus 188. Yeah, it's pretty much almost a pick'ems. Box Live has Benavidez as a minus 190. David Morrell at plus 150. 155 minus 190. Yeah, it's a close fight. I think each week that goes by, and I know I done 2 predictions. There's a whole list that PBC asked us to submit our prediction, and I can actually while they're talking to Jesus Ramos, I'll pull that up.
You've been preparing yourself. You're a power puncher. Sabes que tienes muchísimo poder en las manos. Ya dijo Rosario que no se va a dejar noquear. What's your plan? What's your plan for this Saturday?
My plan for this Saturday, I'm gonna come out strong.
Jesus says the pay-per-view is only worth $25.
I know
The co-main's a good one. I like the co-main fight, but it's a little
I just want
underwhelming when it comes to names on paper.
I think that's what the fans love, and that's what I like to do as well.
Well, you're 21 and 17 KOs, so you had the right to say that you have the power to do it.
It's almost a pick.
Now, this is a big event.
It's almost like 2
in
to 1.
Vegas.
But
how do you feel? Like the walk
depending
of
on the
the
betting
people, la
odds.
gente como te recibió.
That's pretty
the
close
energy of
for
your
a guy that has
Mexican
that much
fan,
more
a Latino
experience.
night too.
Sí, esa vibra que nunca puede faltar de los mexicanos. Muchas gracias a todos.
You're not a fan of the new
and I want to thank everyone.
the new commentator.
Because, without them, none of this is possible.
But
Make, Fight Week very, very exciting being here.
Yeah, the odds do change Super Saiyan. It depends on your betting website.
I can't wait for Saturday.
With the odds,
¿Qué tanto sabes de Rosario? ¿Qué tanto has
if they
visto
do
de su
live
carrera?
betting
How
and
much
someone's
of
getting their
Rosario
ass
have you
kicked
watched over the
and
years?
destroyed,
And
absolutely,
what do you
it
think
changes.
you're
But
gonna do
prior
next
to the
Saturday
fight
to
being
come up
made,
with the
they may
edge?
change a little bit depending on how the weigh-in looks, because
I was a fan of
that can alter stuff.
became a world champion.
But
I always wanted
once the fight starts, you have to go look for live betting.
Humble of you. He was a fan of Rosario when a champion.
I watched
I think they're
him
trying.
for a long time. I studied his style. But yeah, now this is how the
Yeah, you hate this lady, so it's not a lot of. Yeah. You notice they've tried a whole bunch of different people at each Amazon event. It's because I think they're trying to, because their situation is like they're responsible for putting on the network broadcast. They're responsible for like the production crew. When they went to Showtime, it was like Showtime runs it and here's the fights. Now they have to do what like the UFC does and kind of put it all together. And they're trying out influencers. They had like a blonde lady. They've used Cynthia Conti. They've used a few different ones. So I think they're trying to give people a chance to see what works.
And I'm the opener too, so I got to set the tone for the rest of the card to make sure we all bring exciting fights.
Fire.
Tienes una sola derrota
They
en
need
tu
a younger
carrera.
lady.
¿Qué
Damn.
aprendiste de esa derrota? You only have one defeat
I
in your
mean,
career.
if
What do
they're
learn
good,
about
they're good. But I see you guys are not a fan of her. People talk about Benavidez last fight. What about Morrell last fight? They both didn't look that great at 175, to be honest. So that's why I'm really interested, because is it like them getting acclimated to the weight being an issue? Is it other things? Caleb Weiss was horrible too. Jordan's been doing it for a while. I mean, you're not a fan of Jordan?
Para el mono, exacto. ¿Por qué el mono? Why el mono?
When it's power puncher, always
Por
bet the
guapo, because
KO.
he was handsome.
They're both power
Venga
punchers.
para acá, papá, pues. Venga para acá. Le puso el mono porque
PBC
era
can do
guapo.
whatever they want to,
Did you name him
100%.
el
I mean,
mono because he was handsome?
that's what they're doing. But I know for a fact, like, from information that I understand and know, that they are trying,
Guapo,
and they're also wanting to give people an opportunity.
handsome and powerful. Thank
You know?
very
So
much.
it's kind of like them paying,
Take it away now.
All right.
how to say it, paying forward to, I guess, people in the industry that they know. Like, don't be surprised if there's someone else in the next one. But they have to figure out their own production crew, and that's what they're doing. So, and these are all kind of like tryouts, like, to a certain degree. You know, if there's a new person each time, it looks like it's a tryout. So, Troy says, damn, I'll have to bet Morrell win by knockout to make some real money. Jordan has no charisma. She's just light skinned. That's fucked up. Jordan knows her boxing. I know. What up? I'm good, Mr. Quake. I appreciate it. So right now they got Jesus Ramos working out. This is what I wanted to pull up, right? They did yeah, Duke Micah did not make it to world champion level. So this was like a breakdown analysis. Let's see. Where to go? So let's see. Juan Manuel. Benavidez has shown a lot over. So Juan Manuel has Benavidez. Stephen A. Smith. Benavidez. Lamont Roach has Benavidez. Barstool. Some people think Morrell has more punchers. One reason why that I'm hoping for a trilogy. Okay, that's what I'm saying. Jesus Ramos says, I see him. Benavidez. The Ringer. Benavidez. Chris Mannix. Benavidez. Chavez from ESPN Deportes. Benavidez. Keith Idek. Benavidez. Jake Donovan, Ring Magazine. Benavidez. Brian Campbell. Benavidez. Dan Rayfield. Benavidez. Associated Press. Deliver KO late against a ward down Benavidez. If he would rather, I expect Benavidez to go for a knockout. If David can get through the first round, I like his chances later in the fight. He would either rack up enough points. All right, that's a fence. Ricardo, pro boxer anchor, Benavidez. Boxing scene. I'm picking Benavidez. Ellie Setback, Benavidez. Sean Zattel, Benavidez. Marcos Villegas. I predict a very close fight, 50-50. Bob Santos. First David Morrell. That's the first David Morrell on this thing that Najee, Benavidez from Cigar Talk. Jose Romero. Benavidez. Derek James. Alright, fence. Kevin Ioli, Benavidez. See, it's kind of like a trend. Even I am on here, Benavidez. So, you can kind of see, like, even though everyone has this, like, a really close fight, or, like, an exciting fight, like, it's far in between for people picking Morrell. So, Morrell doesn't really have a public opinion in this fight, except for maybe some diehard boxing fans. Benavidez already, he fears Bivol. Kushpak says, and still WBA world champion Tank Davis. General Knox is wild for that. PBC's low-key cheap. I wonder if there is a rematch clause between Benavidez and Morrell Benavidez. It would be interesting if the winner was to take on the winner. Well, I mean, they are. They're supposed to... This is like for their mandatory position. And the winner of this goes on to fight the winner of that. They've already came to terms, so...
Let's welcome Angel Figueroa. And now making his grand arrival is an all-action contender who will go toe-to-toe against Isaac Pitbull Cruz in an all-Mexican super...
You know, I was a little disappointed. This guy that's coming up is going to be Pitbull's opponent. And I did some research. Wasn't really familiar who he was fighting. And now, you know, what we understood, Turkey put out an offer about like a week or two saying like, yo, Pitbull, you want to fight Ryan after this fight? And he said, nah, I'm good. You know, you can't rush me like that. So because of it, you know, seeing how much Pitbull has talked, you kind of like, all right, this guy just didn't really want to rush into another fight, which, in my opinion, this might be a tune-up. We'll see. I don't really know about his opponent too much. I looked down his box rig a little bit, so. But I do like Ryan and Rolly, though. So maybe Pitbull not fighting has blessed us with one of the best press conferences coming for a long time.
Kind of card like we going to have this Saturday.
Bueno, el día sábado voy a probar que estoy listo para para estas grandes carteleras y que me he
To
ganado
be-
mi oportunidad venciendo a
Yeah, I
Pitbull
ain't hip
Cruz.
to this guy.
This Saturday
Tank would
night, I'm
never
gonna
fight
prove that
De
I'm
Los
up to the
Santos.
challenge,
Never.
that I'm up
Never
to
say
being
never.
This kind of great cards, and that I'm
know?
up to defeating Pitbull
The
Cruz.
problem with the De Los
Pero
Santos
todos
fight is if
sabemos
he
que
fights
Pitbull no
him,
es un hueso
he won't
fácil,
get
pero
credit.
eres bien
And if he
complicado
loses,
ese
it's like, oh,
boxeador.
that was a stupid
Inclusive
fight. Why'd you
podemos
fight
decir
this
que
guy
llega
De Los
como
Santos?
favorito
Everyone was saying he's
esta
good.
noche del sábado.
You know,
¿Qué
like
vas a hacer
Shakur
para
and all them. So,
sorprender?
I think
Para
at the end of the day,
él,
it's
we
just
all know you know what Pitbull
is
can
what's
do
best
in
for
the
Tank,
ring.
and De Los Santos might not be
And
best for him
he
unless
is
he's trying to prove a
favorite
point
for
against
this
Shakur
fight.
Stevenson,
What are you
right?
going to do to be the surprise, to surprise him, and to be the surprise of
Let
the
me lower this audio real quick, download it. What do you think about the monster going up to cruiserweight to face? You know, I mean, I don't know because I don't know how he looks at 175 really. Like he's had one bad. You said interpreter sucks.
Y este
Damn.
sábado haré lo mismo contra Pitbull Cruz.
You talking about
I
Martin?
love being the B-side.
Martin's-
I love
Martin's
pulling off the
cool.
upset. I've already gone to the other side of the world and pulled off one.
Is he not translating well,
Why
Loki?
not do it again? I'm here for
I don't think it's. I don't want to think about David Benavidez though
O
going
como dicen
to
por ahí, te gusta la caldera.
cruiserweight right now, just only because the fact that he didn't look good at 175 his last fight. So I don't know how he's gonna look right now. If he looks amazing and he dominates and he destroys David Morrell, then yeah, you know, maybe we can start talking. Especially if he gets past Arthur Better be Bivol winner. But right now I think it's just a little too soon. And I know that Zerto, you know, came from 168 to 200. So I'm not saying that like it's impossible for David to do the same. But I just want to see how he puts on the weight because you know Zerto's looking solid at 200. So Morrell can't win. He lacks the skills. I think he doesn't lack the skills. I just think the experience isn't there. You know, I think he's going into a monster, ironically, very soon and early in his career. He hasn't fought anyone besides, I think, like Lennox Allen, in my opinion, who's shown some sort of like trickery. And that was like his third professional fight. So, and Lennox is like a good fighter, but Davis fought really good fighters in that. So,
México y todo el mundo conozca a Ángel Tachiro Fierro.
Morrell
They're gonna
can
see a
win.
hungry
I just don't
fighter
think
that
he
wants to
will
be a
win.
world champion.
That's fair.
Pitbull Cruz,
That's
it's
how
all
I
technique, know
interpret
that,
it.
but in order to be
I
a
think that
champion,
fight
you gotta
is
beat the
a
champion.
winnable fight for
And
Morrell
this
if he
Saturday
hurts
night,
him, but if
Mexico
not.
and the rest of the world are
What
gonna
weight class
see
are they fighting at? They're fighting at
the
175.
Fierro is gonna come out to
Jamal.
shine,
They
and
both
that's gonna
moved
be
up
the
from
next big thing in
168.
boxing.
So this would be for the
Do you have any
mandatory.
message for Pitbull? ¿Tienes algún mensaje para Pitbull?
Pitbull was weak. Pitbull was going
Que
to
se
sleep.
prepare, vengo listo
Pitbull
para
ducked
una guerra,
Ryan.
tanto como él viene a
Yeah,
mí.
I don't know what
Entonces,
Pitbull's plan is, and I don't know
para
what
toda la
he's
gente, el
trying
día
to do.
sábado, el team móvil lo vamos a hacer vibrar.
Pitbull's too
Arriba
small, he needs to go
Tijuana,
back down to
arriba Las
135.
Vegas, arriba México.
To all the fans and to Pitbull Cruz as well, get ready because it's gonna be an all-out war.
Pitbull doesn't
Viva
have the skills to
Tijuana,
hang with
Viva
like Rosario. He
Mexico,
didn't, and he
get
didn't want to do the
ready, it's gonna be
rematch.
great.
He
Thank you
told
so
me
much, Ángel.
the reason why the
Muchísimas gracias.
rematch
Ahora,
wasn't
apropiate
happening
del ring.
is because he
Por primera
considered
vez
him
en
like
esta semana de
an
pelea.
unfan-friendly
Your first time in the
fight,
ring for this
which is a terrible
fight week.
answer.
All right, once again, Las
Like,
Vegas
you didn't want to get
is
your strap back?
Ángel Fierro.
So, I'm not a fan of this. I'm not a fan of this fight, knowing that it should have been Rayo, and then if this guy is allegedly like a tune-up or just a guy to make you kind of look good, then you don't fight Ryan, then, you know, me and Pitbull got some issues right now. Like, what are you doing, man? Pit Girl needs a main event fight. I mean, he had an opportunity. He had Ryan Garcia and Rayo. You know, I mean, I think Pitbull and Rayo would probably been on an undercard, like a co-main, but Edwin has the punching power to stop Tank. And he's long. Oh, for sure. I mean, he has power. He definitely has power. But I'll still favor Tank, you know? Tank's just skillfully, I think he's a lot better. Guys, everyone knows the fight of the year is Jake Paul and Logan Paul. I heard that's a reality. It's a reality TV show. I feel like Edwin's getting blackballed. He's actually injured, or he's coming off an injury, Mark. But really, like, when you have a prize fighter, do you want to put him in there with a guy who's known to actually have punching power? Because remember, he knocked out Rayo Venezuela, who is a champion as we speak. And he was able to get respect from Shakur. I know that Shakur claims he had an injury and things like that, and I do believe it. But still, Shakur was not just walking him down. You know, there was a lot of respect on Edwin. So you don't really want to put anyone in there knowing what type of damage he can do. So I do like Pitbull versus De Los Santos, but would Pitbull actually put himself in that? So Edwin's going to sleep. I think he would lose to Tank. Pitbull didn't duck Ryan. He's focused on the fight. He told him after the fight he was signed. You know, I think it's not the fact that he's not focused on this fight. I feel like he just didn't want to be pressured. And I don't blame him on that. Like, he's like, all right, let me work on this fight. And don't pressure, don't force me, you know. But at the same time, like, do you think you're going to get Ryan Garcia after? Like, there's certain windows and certain opportunities. And I think, granted, if he didn't look good in this fight, he got injured or needed some time to recover, I'm sure there could have been a clause where, like, Pitbull could have said, no, I'm not continuing to take the Ryan Garcia fight. But if he actually destroys this guy, then what? Brian's fighting Rolly. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't really know too much of this guy. Maybe this guy is a lot tougher. And maybe he's thinking I can't recover fast enough to go straight into a Ryan Garcia fight a couple weeks later. I mean, what? It's February 1st, so February, January, February, March, right? The fight would be in March. So, I don't know. I'm pretty sure that if he signed it and if he needed to opt out of it, he could have. Because that's what they did with Israel Madrimov. If something like he didn't look good against Boyacek, then they had insurance plan for Ryan. I mean, not Ryan, Virgil. So, I don't know. Maybe I'm just being too critical on Pitbull. But let me correct myself. Is the room is set to return March on the Sebastian card? He is. I don't know. I actually don't know. Kush. You know, it's hard with, there's so many moving pieces, like as you can see the last couple weeks, Kush, that like these guys say they're fighting and doing one thing and then a week later it changes and then another week later it changes. Ryan said he's fighting Pitbull. He didn't even know he was fighting Rolly. You get what I'm saying? So Dimitri Bivol will sleep Benavidez any day. I mean, they've had some good sparring, I've heard, but fighting and sparring, so.
Ladies and gentlemen, damas y caballeros, next into the ring, introducing Isaac Pitbull.
Mentioning Pitbull, they're bringing Pitbull in right
Cruz.
now. Man, these fans are getting way too disrespectful. I mean, base Chad, that's just how fans. You know, that's just fans. Yeah, Mark, I did get a haircut.
Let's meet the man who'll step into the ring against Angel Fierro in the Mexico versus Mexico
a lot more
bracket.
cleaner.
With a record of 26
My girl was
victories,
on me.
3 defeats, and
Pitbull
1
was
draw,
born fighter, no
with
charisma.
18 big
Get
wins
someone
by the
else on
way
there
of
first.
knockout.
He's definitely riding on
Mexico City.
well, he did get the Rolly one, so I guess Rolly and Tank. There's been 2 fights that got a lot of people's attention, but we need more Paulie interviews about the actual details of fighting, not just outside the ring. Like you're talking about like technical, like actual. Yeah, Paulie's a great interview, you know. I really like that piece that Ben just did with Paulie. Like, all right, so this is the face-off with Pitbull and his relatively unknown opponent. As always, Pitbull's a little bit shorter. I want to see Ryo rematch Edwin. Yeah, that would be a good fight. I think Ryo would totally want to avenge that. But he would have to come up to 140, so. No charisma. You sound like a woman. Dude, they're fighters, not movie stars. Well, I'm sorry, base Chad. I don't have enough Chadness, huh? Who's that as your GSP? I mean, I guess GSP has the most charisma in his MMA career. No disrespect to GSP. I've interviewed him many times. He's very chill. So, look what happened to his last fight, Pitbull. He overlooked Ryo talking about Tank rematch. Not that I think he's an elite boxer. That's fair, but he's always wanted the Tank rematch. I think I don't think he overlooked Ryo, but I think he always wanted a Tank rematch because he knows that he was in that fight probably like a round or two away from winning. Because I did have that fight relatively close. I did have Tank winning, but it was close enough. So, I was talking to you, man. It was a guy in the chat. Fair, my bad. It's so hard to tell sometimes reading the chat. No, I wasn't talking to you. You know what? I wanted to like talk shit about GSP, but I couldn't because I was sitting back all the times where he was being like very charismatic, like very, and he's had some good moments, man. So I couldn't even get at you with just your profile pic. That's GSP.
La familia es muy importante y sin lugar a dudas un motivo para tu carrera. Pero en ese momento, aquí hace 5 minutos te vimos
You still base, my bad.
concreta en tu rival. Just minutes ago, you just had your rival in front of you. What were you thinking?
Sí, totalmente. Ahora sí que venimos confiados, muy bien concentrados en el plan de trabajo y el sábado en la noche lo vamos a sacar a relucir arriba del ring para toda la afición.
What does it mean to you to have this Mexico versus Mexico fight, and how much motivation does it add? ¿Qué motivación te da esta cartelera de México contra México, del cual vas a ser protagonista el sábado?
Es una motivación muy grande el saber que esta pelea puede quedar marcada para la historia de
this is
peleas
the
entre
February
mexicanos
one,
y lo
February
vamos a
1st
hacer
card.
de nuestra
So we're
parte
fight week. This
y
is day
vamos a
one of
brindarle
the
una gran función, una gran pelea a toda la afición.
fight week
This
activities.
is going to be a great fight because it's going to be historic. It's going to be etched in Mexican boxing history. So my job right now is to be ready to bring all of you a show, one that you're going to remember for a long time to come.
What have you worked on since your last fight that you're going to display this Saturday? ¿En qué has trabajado después de esa pelea tan complicada que tuviste contra Valenzuela? ¿Y cómo lo vas a hacer notar el próximo sábado?
Bueno, trabajamos en Ciudad de México con el equipo, trabajamos en las fortalezas y en las debilidades y fortalecimos todo en general.
Well, I worked really hard with my team down in Mexico City, both on my strengths and my weaknesses. I gotta be my best overall in order to come out on top next Saturday night.
Vamos a ver la mejor versión de Isaac el Pitbull Cruz. ¿Vas a salir mordiendo? Are we going to see the best version of yourself next Saturday? Are you going to be the best Pitbull we have ever seen?
Van a ver una versión renovada de Isaac el Pitbull Cruz.
You're gonna see a renewed version of Isaac Pitbull Cruz.
¿Algún mensaje que le tienes a toda la gente? Todos sacaron
Pitbull is
su
entertaining to watch,
cámara.
but against
Obviamente
another
eres uno de
brawler,
los
but against a
favoritos de
technical
los
fighter, he
fans.
definitely
You're
gets
one of the
spoiled. I agree.
favorites.
It's because of his
fans.
size
What do you
too.
have to tell them?
You know, if he fights like
Solo
a tall,
agradecerles de todo corazón las muestras de apoyo,
like,
de cariño,
rangy,
y el
technical
1 de
boxer,
febrero
I would
vamos
expect him to win.
a dejar todo porque somos unos Pitbull arriba del
Benavidez
ring
just moved up.
y
Bill was
vamos a
too tied
retomar el
up. We better
camino
be
del éxito.
entertained.
Pitbull,
Thank you to all of you for your support from the bottom of my heart. Wouldn't be here without you, and I promise you, Saturday, February 1st, we're all gonna be people, and I'm gonna pull out the best version of myself. You're gonna see a great show, and I'm gonna cherish all of your support. Thank you.
Pitbull, ¿le agrega alguna emoción especial el hecho de que es una pelea entre Tijuana
Is Ryo
y
130? Could he
México?
fight
Ya nos
Oscar
tienen
Benavidez? No,
acostumbrados
Ryo's
a
at
guerras.
140.
Does it add anything,
He was actually
the fact that it's
135,
a
but he moved up to
Tijuana
140.
against
So
Ciudad
he's a
de México
140 fighter
fight?
now. And he actually says he
Pero
can't make
estamos sentados en un
135
barril de
anymore.
pólvora
So,
y que la gente va a ser la
so
ganadora.
it's 140 and up.
We're inside the power keg right now, and the fans, they're gonna see a great show. It's gonna be explosive.
El ring es tuyo para tu media workout. Now, let's see your media workout.
All right, last pick.
All right, so Pitbull's doing his media workout now. What up, Attorney Bailey? What's up? My guy, Pitbull's a problem for any fighter, not an easy fight. I think he poses a good challenge. It just depends on like your stature and size. He's pretty small, so I do feel that like a long, rangy, tall fighter who can box really well relatively cruises past him. But if you're around his size, you know, and damn, dude, I'm reading the chat from the PBC stream, and they are like saying, fire this lady. They are brutal. Is she that bad? Is this lady that bad? Oh, I'm so sorry. I feel so bad. I mean, it is what it is. Like, I'm not gonna really criticize her because I wouldn't probably be a super great ring announcer slash host. So, wow, she's a mid as wow. I am reading the chat of this. They are killing her. I know my chat was killing her earlier, but Mark, I agree. I hope it can happen one day. Yeah, technical details of boxing feel like boxing politics gets more talked about than technicality in the ring. We'd love for great minds to break down details and give us the things they look at. So, all right. So, question, and this is for like while Pitbull is doing like his little media workout in the ring. I guess feedback from you guys, right? When it comes to interviews, right, there's always going to be like the tough questions, right? And don't get me wrong, like sometimes I have to ask soft questions, or you know how I like work my way around certain topics. Obviously, there's certain topics that need to be discussed for headlines and or recent events that happen. But do you guys prefer interviews that spoke more about like the intricate details behind the scenes, or do you guys like interviews that broke down more of the specifics of like the techniques and the fights, like strategy and that? Like, is there a certain type of content that you guys prefer more than the other? And I'm only asking because I got a couple interviews lined up. I got to interview Stan Jonas coming up, who's fighting Jaron Ennis, and then I will be interviewing Baranchik, who Keyshawn Davis is fighting. So I got 2 world champions lined up this week. So, but why do fighters need to have charisma? That's ridiculous. I think that's just for the entertainment outside of the ring, right? Because they only fight in the ring. So I guess people like to be entertained. And it's cool, you know what I mean? Like, versus just a guy that just walks up and just kind of just does bland interviews. I think, me, myself, I also enjoy, like, charisma, you know? That's why, like, Ali's so adored, or Floyd, or Roy Jones, or Chavez. Like, they've had, like, some sort of charisma. So, I like to see Loma versus Inoue. Inoue's too small. I mean, that'd be great, technically, but if they're not the same size, then Pitbull is arguably too small for lightweight. For sure. I mean, he probably should just move back down to 130 at this point. He would have a better chance in more competitive fights, really. This pay-per-view will break records. I don't think it will break records. Morrell is, like, not known well enough, unfortunately. I think the hardcore boxing fans and Benavidez fans and maybe some Canelo fans are going to tune in. But records, you're talking about, you can go to your dry cleaner and that lady's going to be watching the fight. You can go to, like, pull up at fast food restaurants, they're going to go watch the fight. You know, your mailman who's delivering the mail, your FedEx, your Amazon driver, you can talk about, that's breaking records. You can talk about it anywhere. Like Floyd and Conor McGregor essentially broke records. Everyone's talking about it. So I don't think the Morrell fight with Benavidez is going to be close at all breaking records. But we'll see, you know, how it compares to Benavidez's other pay-per-views he's done. Mentioning a Morrell's coming in the ring, so we're going to be able to hear what he says.
Now let's meet one half of the evening on Saturday night
Jordan's
at
bad,
the
all right.
T-Mobile Arena. He
I
has
just
a
want to see
perfect
David versus
professional
Canelo one
record
day.
of 11 victories and no defeats, with 9 big wins by the way of knockout,
needs his
and the reigning
help, his
WBA
people
light
right now.
heavyweight
He's
champion.
silent.
He's a Cuban native who was a standout amateur before moving to the U.S. to begin his pro career. He trains in Texas.
The technique
with
strategy
famed
is
trainer
too much back and
Ronnie
forth in the
Shields.
ring. Let's
He
focus
won
on
a
fighters
title
who
at
are actually
168
fighting. So Maestro, I got
before
you. For
moving
this
up
week
to
when I talk to the
light
champs,
heavyweight last
I'll
year to
bring up
win
some
his
sort of
WBA belt. One of the most avoided fighters
strategy.
in the sport.
Sometimes they won't, well, not strategy, technique questions, but they obviously won't want to give away their game plan. But I got you, Maestro.
¿Dónde están los cubanos? Where are the Cubans here? Come on, David Morrell.
Motherfuckers boxing makes money for
What was
cash,
that?
not
Last time
hardcore
I
fans.
saw you, there was a
Exactly.
lot of action. in the ring in that media workout back in Miami. But look around, David, you're finally here in your first pay-per-view in Las Vegas. What's going through your mind? ¿Qué te pasa por la mente? Es un momento por el que has trabajado muchísimo.
I'm so excited, you know. It's my second time to fight in Vegas. It's my first time pay-per-view. I'm so excited for this opportunity for me. I think so. It's the big opportunity for they open the door for the Cuban people to follow me. So, you know, I'm so excited for this moment. I mean, I'm so excited, so happy.
Estás emocionado. Lo puedes creer. You can't believe it that you're here finally.
Eso mismo venía hablando yo con mi hermano, con mi compa y Jonathan, que una vez estuvimos aquí en Las Vegas hace varios años, vi un main event, ¿no? Y le dije, algún día mi foto va a estar ahí. Bueno, ya lo logramos, gracias a Dios. Ahora lo próximo es lograr la victoria del 1 de febrero.
That's a beautiful story. He just said that a few years ago he was here in Vegas with his family, his brother, his dad, and he said, one day I will be in a car like that, and today it's finally here. So congratulations, felicidades, porque toma muchísimo trabajo, esfuerzo, sacrificio to get to where you are, but you have a very tough opponent. We all know how powerful Benavidez is. Sabemos lo poderoso que es Benavidez. What are you going to do this Saturday that it's going to be the beginning of David Morrell rest of his career? I mean, it's going to be
All right,
the
I
best
see what you guys
time
mean.
of
She is
your
pretty
career.
rough on the edges.
You know,
She is pretty rough.
It's the
She
same
is pretty
for
rough.
everybody. So
I ain't gonna lie.
I know he's a
I
super
don't know if
guy.
it's a language
He's
barrier,
the big guy,
but
I mean, I don't care. You know, I'm ready. My corner support me, like I'm ready. You know what I mean? So I don't care.
That was rough.
I know everybody say hands the monster, hands the whatever. No, I don't care. Hands the monster, the Terminator. I'm coming for him for the first, 100%.
You two have had a lot of heated exchanges throughout the promotion. I was there. Oye, que se estaban dando antes de la promoción, David.
No, sorry for the last time. But, you know, it's a work. It's the show too. I mean, but now, it's inside the ring. Anybody can stop him. So only the referee. That's it.
Do you have a message for David Benavidez now?
Hey man, I promise you, knock him out.
Le están diciendo que lo vas a noquear. A ver, vuélveselo a decir en inglés y en español, porque él habla los dos también.
Papi, nada, te lo prometo, te voy a noquear 100% para que te pongas ready. Estamos listos.
Por allá dicen que en el quinto asalto, in the fifth round, they say that he's gonna knock him out. That's what you believe? Well, people here are saying that maybe Benavidez will go down in the fifth.
No, I respect the opinion of everybody. You know, a lot of boxers have it with the fans, so Benavidez have big fans. I have the big fans too. It's normally, you know, it's the sport. But you know, I need to win 100%. I can't lose. I can't lose. I can do it.
No puedes perder. You cannot lose.
Because I have everything. You know, I have everything for winning him. I mean, I can do it, lose this fight because it's my time, it's my moment. The 2025 is mine. It's not anybody's mine.
Este es tu año. El 2025 va a ser su año. What do you do? What do you have to do on Saturday's night to have your hand raised? ¿Qué vas a hacer el sábado para tener esa mano en alto?
I'm teaching him the ABC. You know, I'm teaching him the ABC, la escuela cubana de boxeo, 100%. Cómo enseñarle cómo que se boxea, ¿verdad?
Oh my God. ¿Qué dijo? A ver, si lo puedes decir tú en inglés. What he said in English?
I don't know, say in English.
He said it's easier than multiply by one. That's what he said.
I don't know say in English, but him say like it's easy. You know.
I know there's like a language barrier, but
Okay, people here are telling you that do not run. Do not run. They're telling you, do not run.
Bro, esto es boxeo, no te dimos, papi. Tranquilo. Tú tranquila y nervioso, papi. Tú tranquilo y nervioso. Ahí los atiendo a todos ustedes después, tranquilo. No te vayas, chico, para la papá. Tú tranquila, niña. Ahí te atiendo.
Well, people are asking him not to run. He's saying, I'm okay, I'm confident. You are the one that should be nervous. That's basically what you're saying. You're pretty confident.
Yeah, of course, 100%. I mean, you know, I'm confident in running on my corner, I'm on my team, my training camp in Houston. So I feel great. I'm feeling my best moment right now. So, you know, I mean, it's normally like people
Andrew says she's getting into it.
I respect
Oh
the
my
opinion.
God.
But the last
It is Spanish trash
la última
talk, and that's why I was
palabra
saying, like, I know there's a language barrier. I just wish I was able
en el
to
ring el que toma la decisión y ahí
understand
donde
what was going
verdaderamente
on.
se va a ver el castigo y se va a ver quién es quién.
He's saying that he will have the last word on the ring this Saturday. So el ring ahora es tuyo para lo que es la semana de la pelea. The ring is yours now.
Let's make some noise.
All right, so they're doing their media workout right now. So, Loma's the size of a featherweight, though. Tapales rehydrated to the same rehydration weight as Loma against Campos. I get what you're saying, Mark, but the only thing is, you still have to like fight at that weight, and Inoue hasn't really like fought against a person who rehydrated. You get what I'm saying? Like, it could happen, but you got to get acclimated. So. She translated trash talk. She is goated. That's like the first compliment that I've seen she got. Because a lot of people in the stream chat crucifying her, casual fan. When you do interviews, I listen to how the fighters break down his fights, kind of like how Teddy Atlas did with describing the physical part of it. Appreciate you. Yeah, I mean, I'll try. You know, a lot of times fighters nowadays don't really like going too much in details. Oh, they show David Morrell dancing in the ring. Because, you know, they always feel like they're always being watched and they don't want to reveal a game plan and things like that. So, but when they talk about others, people, and other fights, sometimes they will, but then sometimes they go, you know, I don't want to talk about someone else's fight that has nothing to do involved with me. So I'll definitely try my best with that. I want to see Tank versus Inoue. It's too small. David's going to spank him like he's Diddy. Which David? Teaching him. Oh, you're talking about Morrell? Teaching him his ABCs. Wow. Yeah, Morrell's confident, man. You know, he comes from a Cuban amateur background. I don't see why he would not feel confident. It's a win for Morrell. Even a loss looks good, and the experience fighting the monster. As long as he doesn't take punishment, which I think the fight will be competitive. You know, Boost versus Stanionis is on. Eddie finally did something for Duran. Big G, what's up? Team Morrell. Morrell's already stuttering, and Benavidez needs to stop fighting bums. Yo, chill. That's just how he talks. Ray Flores should be talking to him. She makes it look cheap. I do wonder why, like, Ray Flores hasn't really done too much stuff. Like, I mean, I know that they are trying. Stop hating on my baby mama. I know that she's trying, and it's like I'm not hating. You know, I don't think, because like I said, I wouldn't necessarily get up there and say like I would knock it out the park my first attempt if they gave me that. Right, so. But, you know, at the end of the day, I know they're trying out a whole bunch of different people, you know. There was some rocky moments earlier. I kind of see why. But, you know, I just think this comes with experience. Tank doesn't get credit. He's good. I agree. I think the problem with Tank is, like, I think his opposition and his resume doesn't translate to the eye test, right? It's almost like what happened with Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford had opponents where a lot of fight fans didn't really feel like they were Hall of Famers, right? But you can watch Terrence and be like, yo, that dude just seems special. So with Tank, I think, you know, a lot of times people feel like he's the goods, but his resume doesn't, you know, translate to his ability. Morrell definitely has power. That's true. Fighters never want to go into details about the game plan. Like I said, let the best man win. I like Benavidez. Yeah, so, who is she? What's her OnlyFans? You guys, you're crazy, bro. The technical aspect doesn't have to come from an active fighter. Someone like Paulie Malignaggi would be great to hear. Oh, for sure. Paulie, Bradley, Roy Jones. That's why they were like Andre Ward. Like, regardless if you agree with them or not, like, they've done it. They were in the ring. They won a world champion, if not more than one. And they can give you the technical techniques that what they should have did or what they shouldn't have done. So, and I personally like talking to those guys a little bit more than active fighters, because active fighters are very more caught up in their own kind of thing. So they're not really wanting to talk. So I think some of my best interviews come from I really want to interview John David Jackson again. I think that's going to be one of my guys I'm going to try to go after, because he was a world champion and also world champion trainer, but he's willing to break down and give you like legitimate, technical differences and even old school and new school. Morrell is new to the game. Can we get a mixture of both? It's about your credibility. What is Axis without credibility? I'm trying to figure out. Are you talking about like what is Axis without credibility? It's about your credibility. Can you restate that sentence? Because I guess I'm just trying to figure out what you're talking about. Leo Santa Cruz is so good though. Tank haters don't know boxing. I think that's a good win. I think the problem with Leo is people feel like Leo was so much smaller than Tank, but people forget how small Tank really is compared to the lightweight division. Like, Tank's small. Tank is really small. So I think it's just the fact that he has punching power out of this world, and he punches way harder than like any lightweight essentially. You kind of forget how small he is, and I think Leo is a great win for Tank personally, but it's just the imagination that the fight fans have, that like Tank can go up to welterweight and knock some of these guys out. I mean, essentially he did beat a welterweight champion, Mario Barrios. So it's just one of those unfortunate things that no matter what happens with Tank's career, until he actually gets a name like Shakur or Lomachenko or someone that actually has like similar accolades or credentials. I mean, Leo Santa Cruz technically has the accolades, so, but it's currently in his weight class that hasn't moved up. You get what I'm saying? Or Tank has to move up and like fight a guy at welterweight. But Cubans are nice at boxing, though. Cubans are more than just nice at boxing. They're probably like one of the best boxing countries, period. Like you think about Shakur lost his medal to a Cuban. Keyshawn lost his medal to a Cuban. Sugar Ray Leonard had to go through Cubans to get his medal. I don't know who to go for, but both to the better man win. I'm a fan of both. I'm leaning to Benavidez, but we'll see.
A rematch, one of the best fights of 2021. He has a professional record of 22 victories and 1 defeat, with 8
So they got
victories by the way
Fulton coming in the ring now.
Representing Philadelphia, he became the unified
Fulton has a lot
world
of
champion when he beat Figueroa
stress
in their
and a
first
chip
fight.
on his shoulder.
He most recently made his featherweight debut with a win over Carlos Castro in
Because
September.
not only the fact that he got sparked out by Inoue, but he got dropped by Castro, and now he's fighting Brandon Figueroa, who I think is actually entering essentially the best part of his career.
He's ready to work out, but before we need to talk. You want to talk to me? Yes or no? Are you ready to go? You don't want to talk to me. Oh, why? I'm a nice person.
Fulton Hayes doing interviews.
A lot nicer than Heartbreaker.
This dude tried to skip the PBC
sure
interview.
Of that. How are you?
I'm fine.
Are you happy to be
Fedora
here?
doesn't have an
I'm
opponent
excited.
yet.
Excited?
Unfortunately.
Anxious? In a certain way?
I'm anxious.
Anxious in a certain way. Well, what would it mean to you to become a 2-division world champion
Canelo King,
with a win
Morrell
on
by
Saturday
decision. That's
night?
not a bad pick.
It'll make me feel better about my career, everything. So it'll mean a lot.
What was your preparation like? ¿Cómo te preparaste para esto?
It was good. My preparation was very good. I'm
gonna pause that real quick. He said it'll make me feel better. Do you notice that? Like, because he knows that he's the underdog going into this fight, which when he first faced Brandon Figueroa, he was the favorite. So there is a lot. He says he's anxious. He'll feel a lot better about himself if he gets the win. He's locked in, but I'm telling you, this is it for Fulton in his mind, and he knows it.
still, loosening up right now, so I'll be prepared for Saturday, and I'll be ready.
This is a rematch.
Which is unfortunate because Fulton has an amazing career personally. I think he's fought an amazing amount of talented guys. He's cleaning out the division minus MJ and only lost to anyway.
From a great fight back in 2021. What is going to be different this time around?
My mindset, my intelligence, my body and how I feel and how I'm feeling leading and going into this ring will be the difference of the outcome and how I will perform Saturday night. But I will be victorious. I don't feel like I'm leaving anything in anyone's hands. No doubt. I want no doubters.
You don't want to go to the distance then?
If that has to come, then it will come. But I'm not worrying about anything else but getting the job done.
People are saying knockout, knockout.
If it's a knockout, it's a knockout. If it's the distance, it's the distance. But my main objective is to get the job done.
This fight will be at a different weight class than the first one. Do you think that gives one of you an advantage? Or will it make you both better this time?
We both will be better this time, but I feel like I'm just a better man overall.
Why?
I'm more intelligent in the ring. I have a lot more skill set. I have a better skill set than him. And I feel like when I just utilize those things and not fall into a trap, then it always lands in my way.
So you feel stronger mentally and physically, right? Figueroa has been very vocal that he believes he won the first fight. What do you have to do to make sure there is no doubt about
she's
the
speaking to a
outcome
dog?
this time
I
around?
don't know. She's been getting crucified.
Just beat the shit out of him and do it convincingly.
Lo voy a triturar.
Say that again.
Lo voy a triturar.
Lo voy
a triturar.
A triturar.
Muy bien. He is mentally prepared even to speak another language. Thank you so much, Steven. Have fun, enjoy. And now, yes, do your media workout.
She seems like she's having fun. I ain't gonna hate on her. Give info through interviews behind the scenes within the circle. Be respectfully aggressive so we can get access, but be straightforward. Oh, for sure. I get what you're talking about when I do the interviews. Yeah, it's always it's a hot cold thing sometimes, Sometimes fighters, they're all warmed up and, they're ready to go, or they're just super cold. And depending on like the relationship or your ability to even speak to them at a certain time where they probably don't even want to do it. It's kind of a pain in the ass. When I did interview Fulton, it's definitely like a wall is up. He has a lot of defenses after the Inoue fight because the expectation of him, I think, fighting Inoue, was the idea that he was supposed to allegedly expose what some people felt like Inoue was like a hype job. And Fulton has at a certain point has like a great resume, but when he went over and fought in Japan, he kind of froze up, and a lot of the stuff about the gloves and all these other things, the mind games with his trainer, kind of like took away from some of his natural ability. And then when he was actually in the ring, he just did not perform. Like Tapales, when Inoue for Tapales was like a way more slicker, more defensive, shoulder roll. Like, he fought what I thought Fulton would have. And so Fulton took some time off, fought Castro, which is a guy who Figueroa just destroyed. And it was in a war. He was in a war. Didn't look great. He got drops. He changed his corner with Bozy. And now at that point, you know, he's fighting Brandon Figueroa, who I picked Brandon to beat him in this fight, which I picked Fulton to beat him the first fight. You know, and I think Figueroa is coming here with a lot more confidence. And I think, you know, I think there's a lot of anxiousness with Fulton. I think a lot of the media has got in his head. And he's built a defensive wall, which is not always great. You know, you want to have a chip on your shoulder because you want to prove something to yourself. But if you want to, like, prove something to a lot of other people, that can kind of distract you. And I think him taking this fight is a little bit of, like, trying to prove himself to other people. Like, this could be a miscalculation at a point. But we'll find out. Southpaw says Fulton's cringe. I mean, he's just trying to be himself. He's just trying to be himself, you know. And I see it. I see he's he knows that this fight is a make or break fight for him. You know, he gets a win over Brandon Figueroa. It's kind of like everything's all good in good gracious. He loses to Brandon Figueroa. It pretty much perpetuates the image that he's trying to avoid. You know, the first fight was close. People thought that, you know, it could have went either or. Then he gets sparked out by Inoue. Then Castro drops him. And then, you know, now he's fighting Figueroa in a bigger weight, in a more prime version. So he's anxious. He's nervous. He's concerned. And he's trained his ass off, hopefully. And we'll see. You know, it's kind of hard for him to hide some of his actual normal emotions, trying to be cool boy at the same time. So, facts, Cubans, Mexicans, and Puerto Ricans are nice. Yeah, I mean, there's good fighters everywhere. You know, I think there's boxers, and then every state in every country. You know, it just depends on times. But Cubans, Mexicans, Puerto Ricans, yeah, they've always produced. They breed champions. So Brandon Figueroa is in the ring.
When I was small, I was fighting amateur. A row of girls were like, they saw me like, oh, here comes a heartbreaker.
Why everybody haters at me? You're the only one, Chad.
Mira, rompecorazones, ¿cómo se siente estar aquí? How do you feel to be here? The energy is great. People is ready to watch a great fight next Saturday. And I'm sure you're very anxious about that fight because he's the only guy that has defeated you in your career. Es el único que te ha podido vencer. ¿Cómo están esos ánimos?
Me siento muy emocionado. Gracias a todos por venir, el público. I'm very excited. Right? Thank you for everyone coming out.
But
and
he's like, yeah, he has a belt.
I'm just very excited. Can't wait to get my leg back, and it's gonna be a fun fight.
Muchachos, le dijo que gracias por venir, lo escucharon. A ver, un aplauso para el rompecorazones. Eso, ahora sí te están escuchando correctamente. What does it mean for you to finally have this opportunity to avenge the only loss of your career? ¿Qué significa para ti esta oportunidad de finalmente verle la cara y los ojos al único hombre que hasta el momento te ha derrotado?
No, pues sí, ya estamos aquí unos días para la revancha. Muy emocionado, muy listo.
It's also a tough fight for Brandon,
too. Focused,
you know, it's not
ready for the rematch.
It's not an easy fight, but
he say he's
big, man. He's
better mentally prepared and physically prepared than the other fight, which was a great fight back in 2021. How do you describe this preparation?
Oh, different. You know, I'm 28.
It's going to be a repeat.
Now.
They're going to fight.
122. I feel stronger, sharper. You guys will see Saturday. I'm a different man. You know, I come to take over boxing. I come to steal the show.
This is not just a fight.
I want to be remembered in the history books as one of the greats to ever do it.
Y quiere ser recordado como uno de los mejores boxeadores. Do you still believe you won that fight? ¿Sigues creyendo que ganaste esa pelea o now you have your doubts?
Nah, pues ahorita en este momento no es importante porque faltan unos días para la revancha y ahí sí me voy a desquitar bien.
Now, in this moment, is not important what I believe in that time. Now we have a new opportunity and I'm going to be really good. See, we're doing Spanish, you do English, I do Spanish, you do Spanish, I do English. Now, what's your message to the fans who are tuning in on Saturday's night? ¿Cuál es el mensaje que le tienes?
Pues el mensaje que no se pierdan esa pelea, esa cartelera va a estar dinamita del principio hasta el final, el main event. this card is gonna be stacked, so hopefully y'all can make it. Elite level boxing. You're not gonna want to miss this card, man. It's gonna be amazing, and I can't wait.
You said you're not going 12 rounds this time around, so you're planning to finish the fight with a knockout?
I'm coming with everything, and yes, I don't plan to leave it to the judges. You guys saw what happened last time I left it to the judges. This time I'm gonna take every advantage. I'm gonna go all in, go all out, and I'm gonna leave everything in the ring.
Bueno, rompecorazones, entonces el ring es tuyo. Heartbreaker, take the ring.
All right, here is Brandon,
Yeah, I got Brandon
the
on.
Heartbreaker Figueroa.
He's just in his prime now. He's fought back-to-back good competition. He's definitely been able to improve from that loss, which was a very close fight. And then I think at the end of the day, I think Brandon has learned from his mistakes. He's in a weight class that he's more comfortable at. You know, he complained that he was, a little weight drain. Because right after that, he moved right up. Fulton moves up in his weight class, doesn't even look great, and kind of goes to war with someone that just Brandon just dispatched. So it's just, I know styles make fights, but yeah, TM, this is a super tough fight for Fulton. This is a tougher fight than his first fight. To be honest, if I would rank Fulton's opponents, or his Inouye's his toughest fight, but fighting Brandon the second time is tougher than fighting Brandon the first time. This is actually his second toughest fight in his career, in my personal opinion, with Brandon the first time being his third. So if he beats Brandon at this point, he gets all my credit and more, right? A legitimate, genuine underdog, fighting a guy who I believe has improved dramatically, and is at his comfortable weight, where Fulton might not be at his comfortable weight. So this is the second toughest fight, and really, Inoue is a lot to ask for any fighter. So, if you removed Inoue, which is like the anomaly because he's one of the top pound for pound guys currently fighting, this is Fulton's by far toughest fight. If you remove the pound for pound, asterisk of the guy that he had to fight. So he's in a tough fight, and stylistically, this might be a fight where Fulton has to dig deep and not just like box and then get clipped and you're out. No, this might be a fight where Brandon has to actually show will, heart, determination, nutrition. And he got paid handsomely. He said Cool Boy's getting one last check. Andrew, he got paid handsomely for the Inoue fight. He got a lot of money for that. So how do you stay hungry? Where's the motivation when you're comfortable? You made a lot of money prior to the Inoue fight. A lot of money in the Inoue fight. Probably a good check on the comeback fight. So... And Brandon's coming with vengeance, and Fulton is coming off the idea that, can I convince the public like I am who they say I am, or who I think I am. Benavidez Morrell could be back on fourth KO fight. They both can catch each other. Oh, for sure. I would edge Benavidez only because of his experience, but I wouldn't be surprised if Morrell actually did it. His experience as an amateur standout is clear, so. And, we've seen David struggle with boxers until he can have his way. He's basically got to make fighting off the back foot look good. I agree, Andrew. And I did pick Fulton to win the first fight, but it was a tough fight. And I gave the win to Fulton. I genuinely thought Fulton did win the first fight. But I understand the room of people thinking it could have went either or. I was texting a whole bunch of fighters that night, and I saw mixed reactions on social media and my phone, so it let me know, like, all right, I just think Fulton won, but it doesn't mean that by all means it's the popular opinion. So he did not make that fight look easy, and really at the end of the day, we know if Fulton does not look good on his back foot, he's going to have to fight Brandon. And can he fight Brandon again? It's a lot to ask, man. He took a lot of punishment in that first fight, and I know Brandon got hit a lot, but I think the punishment probably was more on Fulton than Brandon. I just think Fulton landed a more cleaner shots that I just edged out in the first fight. But this second fight, I think Brandon learned from it, and he's going to make probably the better adjustments, you know. But who knows? We'll see. You know, Fulton decides to use his legs and box really well, and decides to use his fundamentals of kind of moving around and being slick. He could probably make this an easier fight, but getting a guy like Brandon off you for 12 rounds is pretty tough. You know, it kind of is like, you know, I don't want to insult them by, you know, because I know people are like, oh, how are you going to compare Chavez and Medrick Taylor? But it's like, you know, if it's like a Philly fighter, you know, this is a Philly fighter who's going to be dragged into a dogfight. And, you know, fundamentally, you could be winning the fight at a point, but the longer the fight goes, you might be getting damaged and broken down. And Brandon's definitely going to bring that. So, but we'll see, man. Fulton says he's flat-footed. He can't do much. Brandon's told me that he can move, he can box, he can do things too. So, you know, these guys are rivals at this point. I think it's a good co-main event. So, looking forward to it. Let's see. And I'm pretty sure after this, I think it's just, let me check my email. I think it's just Benavidez. There's some music playing. So Grand Arrival, let me see. Media. Benavidez fight week. Okay. Let's see. So yeah, next one will be David Benavidez. Last but not least. But if these are how they do the Grand Arrivals, then I'm cool with it, honestly. You know, Grand Arrivals to a media workout and knocks two things out right away. Actually forces all media to be here, because sometimes we may not necessarily always be there.
He has a message for you. What did you say? Oh, did you hear that?
Yeah.
We cannot repeat what he said, but he basically said that you need to win this fight.
Of course, yes. Para eso vengo. Yes.
Mira que se quieren tomar una foto contigo. Gracias, rompecorazones.
I see FightHype TV over there with over 2 million subscribers. Let's give some love to FightHype TV for covering this event.
All right, so we're just waiting for David Benavidez to show up.
Guys, Benavidez will be here in a few minutes. He's gonna give us a full workout, so please stick around. But remember, oh yeah. ¿Cómo? No. Es que me ponen cara. Benavidez is on his way, so just a few more minutes to see him working out here in the MGM Grand. And the tickets are on sale on AXS.com. Or if you wanna watch the fight, where do you have to go?
They are destroying.
Okay.
Amazon Prime.
That's right. As a reminder, this event is promoted by TGB Promotions, Samson Boxing, Warriors Boxing, and Mayweather Promotions, and sponsored by DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours, and sponsored by El Mexicano brand products, bringing authentic sabor to your table. Somos El Mexicano. All right, as we get to the end of this media workout, we have David Benavidez again, our main event against Morrell. Both Davids going at it this Saturday night at the T-Ball Arena. So once again, let's talk about these guys.
Ray Flores would be.
I want to know what you're thinking. How is this going? This fight going to pan out this Saturday?
Honestly, it's going to be a bang matchup. I mean, we got Morrell. He's hungry. I mean, these both of them are undefeated, and they're both Latino, and they're both, they're going to come out and put on a big show for the world to see. So I couldn't really predict who's going to be the winner. It's just going to be an excellent matchup on Saturday.
Yeah, it's a very competitive fight for sure. But I think Benavidez is the favorite, right? Let's see if Morrell can turn this around.
I mean, he has a little bit more experience in the pro and the higher levels. But again, I mean, Morrell, coming from...
This is rough. Yeah.
He's very hungry coming from over there, and he's definitely got something to prove here in the United States.
It will be a clash of styles too. With the Southpaw Morrell, vamos a ver también cómo hace.
Man, that's crazy. They got the pacing for everything else but David Benavidez to come on.
It's different when you fight in a pay-per-view card in Vegas. This is as big as you can get. And he has been working really hard for this moment. Let's see how he's mentally prepared for it.
I mean, you guys were in Florida not too long ago. You guys were in a heated situation. Why don't you tell us how you felt in between these two?
All right, so I'm gonna turn that part off until we'll pull up some actual fun footage while we wait. All right, so it looks like we got some Jim Lampley breakdown. Let me see if we can get that.
Hey guys, how are you? Are you ready? Are you waiting for Benavidez?
Chance to study any of his fights. He's fighting on Saturday.
With us here
I think it's going to be a great fight.
PC. We are in the live stream for this great card coming up this Saturday at the T-Ball Arena. If you want tickets, they're still available on sale.
That should have been who had Caleb Plant. Yo, this dude, I had to turn this off. TM, like, it's bad. Like, I was trying to give really the benefit of the doubt for a long time, because I'm not gonna judge too hard, but that was enough time for me to literally just sit and just let it digest with both of them. And he asked her a question. So what do you think? And she said, what do you think? And then it's just like, or I'm not going to give a definitive answer. I'm like, okay, this is bad. Jordan Plant would have made the dialogue a lot better. It's painful. It's painful. Host got to go. She ruined this. Yo, Southpaw, I agree. I was trying to be nice for a while because, I'm not perfect, right? I would totally just be like chilling, up there. I don't know. I might not be the greatest commentator host myself, but no, it's not about judging, bro. It's bad. It's bad. It's bad, bro. It's bad. It is bad. They're both really bad. As a consumer, as someone who's watching, like I'll probably give my opinions. I'll probably let some of the people that over at PBC know about this because this is pretty bad. Like I've never seen so much criticism for poor hosting for a very long time. Like I'm looking through the PBC's chat, I'm just kicking in a nice little stream with you guys just hanging out, and it's pretty bad. And I don't know Spanish, so I can't really judge her Spanish. But everyone's saying she does a really bad translating too, and I know how much when it comes to translation, if you get that wrong or it's bad. Like, you get chewed up. I know the HBO translator had a really, really, really rough time with it. And so if she's not just a bad host as English, but she's translating poorly, yeah, it's not all about judging. I agree. Yeah. Thanks for pulling out my true honesty, you know what I mean? Because, sometimes I definitely try to be like offensive, be cordial, right? Try to be a nice guy, but at the end of the day, man, you pull my true honesty out right there, man. Pitbull and his opponents fixed their hats. Almost kissed. I got Pitbull though. I don't even know what Pitbull's doing at this point. Like, I did an interview with Pitbull and the views were so bad. Like, it lets me feel like no one even cares about him no more now. I pray she never finds a job again. I'm going to file a complaint. I think you rightfully could, to be honest. I mean, this is a big stage. Like, this is a big opportunity. I mean, I don't really know where she's from. You know, I don't know if she's part of like a previous broadcast somewhere or owns like a YouTube channel or something like that. But by far, this is probably one of the worst hosts currently out of all the tryouts they've done at PBC. Because they've done Cynthia Conti. You know, she's not perfect, but you know, she got through that perfectly fine. They had some influencers. They done some other people. But this is just uneventful, uninspiring. Especially when you got like a guy who doesn't really speak English with David Morrell. You know, you got to kind of have to hold his hand. And that hand holding was just atrocious. Benavidez is coming in.
And now making his way
this feels like work. I'm
He's
not
the
gonna
star
lie.
of the show. He'll be putting on his interim WBC light heavyweight title on the line in Saturday's main event of the evening at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. His record is a sterling 29-0 with
next time they need a high rate Flores, he kind of disappeared. I think he's doing UFC. His brother does stuff with PBC, so I don't understand what Ray is. And honestly, you could just use his brother because his brother's not bad. Honestly, he's not perfect too, but it's only because of experience. He only and I think it's just more of just like nerves, maybe hiccups, you know. I remember Ray Flores when when Tank was relatively late for the Frank Martin fight. Ray Flores talked for literally an hour and a half. And did amazing, like amazing, killing time. I couldn't believe it.
I remember last time in Miami. How is different now? ¿Cómo estás de diferente? Más concentrado, more focused.
Me siento muy bien, me siento bien emocionado. I'm ready to, you know, I've been working extremely hard, and like I told you guys, I was going to break David Morrell's pace. I'm a man of my word. That's exactly what we're going to do this Saturday.
Bueno, yo le acabo de decir. Mira, y también trajiste a Anthony. You brought Anthony. Come on, Anthony. Are you ready for this fight next Saturday? Yes? Yes? He's ready. He's ready. He's always with you. Well, the time has come. The wait is over. What, David, are we going to see next Saturday, this Saturday in the T-Mobile Arena?
Oh, I'm extremely ready. Like I told you guys, you guys are going to see a great fight. I've prepared extremely well for this fight. And I told you guys, don't blink, because this fight is going to end early.
You had a lot of heated exchange with Morrell leading up to this fight. Has that added extra motivation?
Yeah, I don't like David Morrell. I'm going to beat the shit out of him.
¿Lo quieres decir en español también?
Yeah, le voy a meter una putiza, como le dije. Lo voy a noquear.
¿Escucharon? Esta gente te estaba esperando. All these people were waiting for you.
Yeah, no, I'm very grateful for every single one of you. Thank you guys so much for all the love and support. I love you guys so much.
What's your message to Morrell now that you're both here for Fight Week? Ahora, ¿qué le quieres decir? ¿O no le tienes nada que decir a Morrell en la Fight Week?
There's nothing left to say. He's going to see what's up this Saturday.
Well, he already said that he's going to try to knock you down.
Man, fuck David Morrell. I don't give a fuck about him. I'm about to beat the shit out of him. I already told you.
Bueno, pues parece que todo está listo. Ahí también está tu esposa, todo el equipo de trabajo. Me parece que listo, tu hermana, tu papá, los cinturones. All the belts are here. You're ready. Do you want to tell anything to the fans? ¿Qué le quieres decir a los fans con este equipo de trabajo que te ha apoyado tanto?
Oh, well, let's get this workout in. You guys want to see a good workout? I'm about to give you guys a good workout right now.
Okay, he's ready for the workout.
All right,
yo, he pretty much just like, yo, stop asking me questions, man. Let me go.
David and
thankfully, man.
Benavidez!
Obviously, I won't be able to show the media footage, but David looks fast as hell. You know, we're going to have our footage submitted in from our correspondents, but he looks fast. He looks ready. He has his son He has his son in the ring. This dude, David, looks fast, bro. Like, his upper body movement. I think his defense gets slept on, man. Right, Rob? Yo, he is not. Like, that attitude, look. This is one of the Benavidez fights that I won't be at. That I have, you know, I've been to so many of them. And his attitude is just constantly constantly getting more comfortable with the spotlight, you know, and his demeanor, his attitude, his kind of just taking in the attention. Like, he's almost like groomed and built for this. Like, it's very scary. His professionalism as a fighter is showing, you know. You know, he's locked in. You can see mentally. I'm expecting a good fight, but I expect Benavidez to get through it, you know. Plus, anytime Benavidez doesn't like an opponent, forget it. Like, Benavidez he's locked in, he's pissed, he's ready to go. It's the worst thing you can really do. Because every time he was mad at someone, man, he showed it. And Morrell is definitely one of those guys that got him on another level. I think he's going to show up this fight. Like, just seeing the attitudes. You know, I know Morrell's confident. I know he's ready, you know. But maybe I'm just sold. Maybe I'm just sold on the trash talking. Maybe I'm sold on the cursing, man. Maybe I'm just a degenerate. But I like that shit. As a boxing fan. You know, he chose Morrell. You know, he's the A side. He wanted the Morrell fight, so yeah, he looks sharp. I remember when I went up to North Hollywood and I saw him with his hand speed for, I think, the David Lemieux fight, or getting ready for that fight. Was it David Lemieux? Or it might have been. The dude's fast, man. I wonder what these drills that they purposely work on with these combinations. Man, dude. He looks comfortable at this weight. I know it's just a media workout, but I think he's ready. He's practicing on his left hooks right now. On a stage this big, should have had a different host. Not her fault. Yeah, I mean, it's. Look, I know what they're doing. I know they're trying out a whole bunch of different. Watch, the next Amazon Prime, they're gonna have someone new, right? I think they were using her for the press conference they recently did in Miami. So, you know, I know they're trying to diversify, but they probably should have had someone who was really experienced, and then maybe her. So that in case if she wasn't capable of holding it down, you know, you got like a Ray Flores there to kind of like. But I don't even know this other guy. So. It's okay. We're almost done with it. Usually they only have like a new announcer for the grand arrivals, and then it goes into the press conference, and then everything goes and resumes back to order. I know Benavidez Sr.'s right on a high after Pacheco beat Steven Nelson, so. That's good confidence as a trainer, also coming into a fight, knowing that You just aced a good, solid win a week before. Get your juices flowing, ready for the bigger stage.
All right, let's give it up for Benavidez. Yes, a reminder, ladies and gentlemen, tickets for the live event are on sale at
Cute when he brings his son up here.
ASS.com. Once again, this event is promoted by TGB Promotions, Samson Boxing, Warriors Boxing, and Mayweather Promotions.
And this is cute. His son's doing the, Benavidez shuffle. Just trying to be like his dad, man. Can't even be mad at that. He's out of breath. Oh, shit.
Let's make some noise!
But yeah, this is the only fight on this. They didn't do a face-off, and I'm assuming only because they don't want them shoving and pushing. These guys don't like each other. But yeah, I think that's one clean sweep. I think we did grand arrivals and media workout, thankfully. I do like this format better. I'm not gonna lie. Well, you know what? I think the reason why they did it this way is because some fighters only want to do the grand arrival and not do a media workout. The fighters on here wanted to do the media workout. So because of that, it makes the grand arrival and media workout combination a better fit. But I don't know if this is always going to work because, the fighters might not want to participate. The main event, at least. Which, they've had a hard time trying to get their main events to do certain
Remember,
stuff like
tickets
this.
are on sale now at AXS.com. The event is promoted by TGB Promotions, Samson Boxing, Warriors Boxing,
Truth is
and
everything.
Mayweather
What's up, man?
Promotion.
This fight's
And
not
sponsored
getting
by
any exposure. You know why?
DraftKings
Both
Sportsbook.
have
The
done
crown
shit
is
and
yours.
there's nobody.
And sponsored by El Mexicano brand products.
I think it's.
bringing
I think it's.
authentic sabor
Here, let me
to
turn
your
this down. I think it's a combination of Benavidez himself is still like a rising pay-per-view star, and he still hasn't been able to just carry the weight on his own. His fights have been fights with guys like Caleb Plant, which been fighting guys like Canelo and things of that nature. I don't know if the Boo Boo fight did better. I know for a fact the Boo Boo fight didn't do better than Caleb Plant. But Morrell is relatively unknown to majority of people. Demetrius Andrade has at least gotten more time, more exposure, been associated around a little bit. So it's just a hard fight to sell outside of hardcore boxing fans, So us hardcore boxing fans are going to eat it up. But to convince people on a Saturday to watch David Benavidez, that's the first thing. But now, who is he fighting? Oh, David Morrell. Who's he? So that's just kind of what it is. Truth is everything. That's just kind of how boxing goes. And unfortunately, the casuals dictate the market. And, it takes a little bit of time for these guys to develop as superstars like Tank, who can relatively fight anybody. And you're just going to tune in. You become interested in their opponent because you're already equipped of knowing Tank is a big fight. Tank is a knockout artist. Benavidez is slowly getting there. But when he finally gets there, then these would be easier fights to sell. Didn't Morrell chase Benavidez to 175? I mean, it's fair to say that. I mean, they both moved to 175, and Benavidez said, "Hey, let's fight." So I don't know. I don't really how would I say? I take my hat off to both these guys because both these guys made a fight where it seemed like it's way too soon. This fight's made way sooner than what a lot of people anticipated. So really, at the end of the day, I think this just shows that these two guys are actual throwback fighters. They just want to fight and want to put on the best fight. So really, you know, I'm not going to say Morrell chased Benavidez. David Benavidez was ducking. Benavidez is the A side, so he's the reason why the fight even's made. So I give credit to both, you know. But Morrell probably was asking for Benavidez for a while, and Benavidez said, well, all right, he's a good fighter. Let's make it happen. So I know we got some content. I'll play some of the content that we just got. But let's see, FightHype. Mexican boxing, #1 Arizona boxing, Team Benavidez, Team Ramos. Yeah, Arizona boxing got some good boxers, man. You can see Ramos should win his fight, and I would probably favor, you know, I would favor Benavidez to win his fight. The issue is PBC doesn't promote shit. The events all over the place, hosts horrible, fighters all over the place, no structure and order. This is on PBC. I know that it's a new platform, and I know that they're trying to figure things out. You know, when I do look at it, I can't say it's like the best looking structured event I've seen so far. You know, definitely trying out new hosts, definitely a different layout. You know, their use of them walking in the front of MGM Grand, and then the media workout's like a whole nother thing. But it's done. It's over with, kind of quick and easy. These usually drag on a lot longer than they're supposed to. So, but yeah, if I had to grade this, you know, it needs some work. It never feels, this didn't feel polished, you know. So, and I think a lot of the gaping holes was the host, unfortunately, with a lot of the downtime. It didn't really feel like it was useful, informative, entertaining. It kind of dragged a little bit, you know. There was no control at times. That's why Jake Paul's so popular. People know him, and David doesn't promote for himself, and other David doesn't want to learn English that sells fights in America. I can't say he doesn't want to learn English. He's trying. It's just he's not there yet. You know, Morrell, when I first talked to Morrell, he just didn't speak no English. Now he's actually trying. His English has improved dramatically, but it's still not at a level where you can, like, you know, appeal to the American speaking audience. So it's tough. And I can't say Benavidez, like, it's just timing. You know, he doesn't really have enough time on this stage to really present himself as that guy. And unfortunately, the Canelo fight is a fight that many people want to see, but, you know, he's probably not going to get it. So he has to make his attention through these fighters throughout his division, which is more like a hardcore appeal more than a casual appeal. Will the road David please stand up? Pereira or Ank? You talking about, like, UFC? It's hard to go against. You talking about Alex Pereira? You just doing UFC? Alex Pereira. Yeah, right? The UFC fight, right? I mean, Alex is consistent. I mean, I have to look at what's his resume. That's a good fight, actually. Shit. He did knock out Johnny Walker. Ooh, that's a good fight. He had a draw with Jan. Man, my MMA knowledge is slowly dwindling, sadly. Decision with Alexander Rock. I don't know. I just know that Pereira has a hell of a hook. So if he can land that shit, bro, it's knocking anybody out. All right, let's see what Jim has to say.
Hey guys, how are you? Are you ready? Are you waiting for Benavidez?
Oh man, I'm so triggered here that announce the host.
On PC, we are in the live stream for this great card coming up this Saturday at the Tomorrow Arena. If you want tickets, they're still available on sale on AXS.com. Or you can order them from of course. You have an option, and that's an incredible option. It could be a great card.
What's Jim saying? He's saying in order to be a star.
You have an option, and that's an incredible option. It could be a great card. turned out to be one of the best cards in the year in 2024 because of what we have.
Just we have all Latin America behind this one. I mean, they're going to bring some great entertainment to the world on Saturday.
So he's pretty much saying that for David Morrell to become a star, win or lose, as long as he shows legitimate grit, heart, courage, then, obviously fans are going to resonate.
In the way that a lot of human beings wouldn't do.
Pretty much make it a competitive, tough fight and don't quit. And you'll get some more fans.
Because they have will, heart, and determination. They understand that winning, particularly in terms of being honored by the audience, requires only that you show you try.
Absolutely. Let's go to Pitbull Cruz.
Is he different than your typical Cuban championship level fighter? He fights for the knockout. He's got it here in his 20s, not in his 30s, like Rigan Liao and others.
I think there were other Cubans who wanted to knock people out too. He has power. The power southpaw is a rare occurrence in the sport. For whatever reason, southpaws normally wind up being technicians, and conventional fighters are more likely to become power punchers. He's got a powerful left hook. He's got real, I mean, right hook. He's got a powerful right hook. He's got real skills.
Making his way to the ring, introducing Stephen Fulton
Benavidez is the favorite. But if the fight were in Havana, he'd be the favorite.
Now, let's see what's out of our close.
All right, that's all I got. All right. Let me pause this before it goes to another one. All right. Casuals, though, is what drives the growth of the business of the sport. That's why Canelo and Tank, even Fury and Joshua, are so popular. They know how to show their personality. David too busy speaking nonsense. I agree. I think when it comes to... Oh, shit, my camera turned off. Sorry, my bad. I think that's the biggest problem. Paulie said it in the interview we just did, with the owner, Ben Thompson. We just lack personality in American boxing, right? And being able to connect with your core base audience, right? The biggest American star, in my personal opinion, and I'm not talking about accolades, I'm not talking about accomplishments, because the most accomplished American fighter right now is Terrence Crawford, which, people will make a case of his, his popularity has grown. But I think Tank has kind of like resonated with the culture of his generation better, and his fans seem to see him more than just a boxer to a certain degree. And that's kind of what you need. Like, you need to be able to connect. You need to be transcending. I know that some people feel like certain people are manufactured, and that's why certain people get certain type of attention. But I think Tank, somewhere along the way, has figured out naturally just to be himself, and him being himself is actually extremely entertaining. I think David Benavidez is slowly figuring that out, and I know that Benavidez is tied to Canelo for such a long time, that it's like we kind of now need to see another element besides just, and I'm a hardcore, boxing fan, right? And, him saying F Morrell, I'm going to break his face. I love that shit, right? But then now we're moving boxing aside. Like, how do I showcase this to, like, my girl? Like, hey, this guy's a monster. He's a killer. Mike Tyson, this and that. What other elements? Sugar Ray Leonard, Floyd Mayweather dancing with the stars. You get what I'm saying? And I know that it's a privilege to be on there. I'm sure a lot of these guys would take that opportunity. But finding the niche that you're in and what you're really good at is one thing. But finding out how to promote that niche in other places that aren't familiar with you is a very, 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 very hard thing, it seems like, for a lot of people to do. And show the levels behind them. And that's all because you got a Mayweather. And that there's truth to that too. It helps that Tank did get a Mayweather co-sign. And, fighting on one of the biggest pay-per-view cards of all time, Floyd and Conor, definitely helps. So you're 100% right. And I think anyone who's just a standalone American star probably then doesn't exist. Like, they came through. No big cosign, no Muhammad Ali, no Sugar Ray Leonard, no Floyd Mayweather, no Pacquiao, no Oscar De La Hoya, you know, kind of rubbing, you know, them on the shoulder and being like, yo, man, I'm going to make you the next pay-per-view star. Yeah, you didn't know Mayweather was dancing with the stars. Yo, he got eliminated off the first round, right? But Mayweather dancing. But see, that's what I'm trying to say. The Mexican G, that was probably one of the most genius things that listen this is gonna sound insane, right? Look, he's legitimately actually on the show. Like, I remember watching this, and that's the stuff like you kind of have to do if you want to be a transcending superstar. Like, you have to broaden your exposure, you know? Everything's talking about hurting people, not enough personality, and able to connect with followers. You need social media a person to help him with the exposure. Yeah, you know, we don't have a genuine American superstar that can legitimately hold a pay-per-view card by himself regardless of the opponent and do about 800. We don't have that in a streaming era. If Benavidez loses his stock, we'll try. Oh, if he loses, for sure. What up, Angel Salas? This is a good fight on paper. Morrell's not afraid of. No, he's not. It's a great fight on paper. Freddie says, I'm tired of hearing Benavidez' dad trash talk. Never gives credit to any boxer. Morrell, please put a... I mean, Morrell has the tools to do it. He just doesn't have the experience professionally. He has the amateur experience, which Benavidez didn't, you know, so... Or have flashy shit-talking fathers. I wouldn't say that either, because, like, did that really help Devin's case? You know what I mean? Has Devin been able to become the American darling? You know what I'm saying? You know, I know Bill has done a lot of stuff, but I remember Victor Ortiz was on Adult Swim. What was he doing on Adult Swim? Victor Ortiz, Adult Swim. Was this recent? The Eric Andre show. Oh shit, he's just dancing. Was this? Oh shit, this was. Oh, this is funny. But that's what I'm saying. Like, you need that. This is the stuff you need. Like, I think, I honestly, like, truth in God, like, if Rolly won against Tank. Yeah, this was years ago. Yeah, but this one, you're bringing up a good point. Like, I didn't know that, but that's great. I love Adult Swim, right? We all do, right? You know, there's other things we love besides boxing, and if you tie yourself into those things, we'll probably love you more. And if we didn't really love you at a point, you can win our hearts by doing all this other stuff, and that's part of the entertainment, like, outside of the ring. You can't just be an entertainer in the ring and then expect to be the biggest adored fighter out there. You know, Sugar Ray Leonard was doing all these other random stuff, Muhammad Ali, and even just watching, like, I immediately started dying, and oh, hold on, Victor Ortiz in my book just went up a little bit more, like, but yeah, Rolly could do something. Though, imagine if Rolly actually beat Tank. Imagine if he beat Tank and Pitbull. You know how fucking insane he would be. Like, he would be the American superstar. Like, night and day. Like, complete difference than the majority of people, because he goes out and puts himself out there. A little vulnerable, but more willing to do stupid stuff. And that's kind of what we kind of want. We want to be entertained, right? Tank's big famous for his drama, and hip hop media reports it. It still counts. It still counts, you know what I mean, E92. And you're right. He's part of the culture. And because of that, you know, Tank is able to deliver, you know, better results. He's probably, like, legitimately the only American boxer right now that can probably fight essentially a relatively unknown kind of fighter and, you know, and do pretty well. You know what I mean? And regardless of how he got there, he's gotten there. But the hip hop media definitely is huge on Tank. Huge. And so props to him. He found a way on top of the Floyd cosign. He has a chance to beat Ryan. He does has a chance to beat Ryan. And, you know, not saying that I'm wanting one more than the other because, you know, I have an issue with Ryan. Or no, there's nothing like that. I think Rolly would be a breath of fresh air to a certain degree if he beat Ryan, because you already know he's gonna go on that's what you watch boxing for, like crazy upsets and crazy shit happening, and then like Rolly has the Mayorga effect if he was able to beat Ryan. Like he could legitimately have some crazy overnight celebrity shit that just takes off because of it. Yeah, and of course, yeah, and the Floyd cosign. The Floyd cosign definitely blessed. Really, the Floyd cosign has blessed Shakur, Devin, Tank, you name it. Like, Benavidez has benefited from it. Jerron Ennis has benefited. Like, Floyd has definitely... It's Errol Spence. You know, all these guys kind of got a Floyd cosign. Would you play Rolly in Fortnite Rolly Challenge? Absolutely. Yo, I've been slacking, but I've been texting Rolly throughout, I think, last year. Kind of been planning on probably playing some Fortnite. So I was thinking maybe we can do like a live, and then you guys can jump in. Maybe if you guys play Fortnite, maybe we can get some of you guys to play Fortnite with Rolly, and then we swap people in and out. What do you guys think? I like the idea. I got like what do you guys like about think about this? See, I have already like a setup. This is my arcade setup right here. You know what I'm saying? So maybe we can get Rolly in Fortnite. I'm with it. I'll probably hit Rolly up this week. So just for that, go. If you play Fortnite, you know, maybe we can get you on the team. Albert says it'd be cool to see fighters in Saturday Night Live, football players, baseball get on the show, right? Like, how many fighters have been on Saturday Night Live? Like, that's, I mean, you also have to kind of be a star too. Like, you can't just like, hey, I would totally like to be on there. And like, it's big time to be on Saturday Night Live. But once you kind of can get in that position, you gotta just take advantage of it. You know what I mean? Like, this is so stupid. This is so stupid. Floyd Mayweather Pacquiao. Who was on Saturday? George Foreman was on Saturday Night Live as a boxer. Not a lot of people, you know what I mean? But that's what we're in agreement. That's the type of stuff, like, if you really want to be all that in a bag of chips, you have to entertain us. And there's the Twitch era, there's the gaming era, there's so many avenues. Get on Hot Wings, eat some spicy wings, and struggle to get through that. Go on, I don't know, some of these random podcasts that's not just only boxing. You know what I mean? And make it make sense too, right? If Rolly beats Ryan, we'll never hear the end of it. Oh, for sure. And it's possible, bro. It's possible, man. Rolly has power. So, Cormel has the backing and the support. He has to figure out how to connect and resonate. And Cormel fights this Saturday too. Turkey's bringing flashy boxing back. Just wait. I don't know if Turkey's bringing flashy boxing. You know, I think Turkey's taken a lot of the fighters who have been kind of like not fighting each other and paying them the money that other promoters don't really see the value, or not see value, but like they don't want to take the risk. Certain fights, they don't want to take the risk because they feel like they may come up short. Turkey's willing to pay the difference of that. Now, does that mean the fights itself is going to do well and sell well? Maybe not. You know what I mean? And just because the fights get made, that doesn't mean like that's going to result into all of a sudden we get a star from that one fight. Maybe we might get a star after the whole gauntlet has been completed. But how do you create that without Tank? You know, how do you do that without Canelo? And, you know, I mean, he is doing stuff with Canelo, but is Canelo fighting the fights that we want? You know, like, is he fighting Benavidez? You know, the Crawford fight is more for Crawford, is more for Canelo's pockets and Crawford's ability to attempt for legacy and his pockets. You know, many people feel it's a mismatch, you know, and they're both, like, Crawford's at the end of his career. So, like, really, even if he didn't fight Canelo, he's going to get out of boxing soon. So, Crawford beating Canelo doesn't mean, all right, now we have an American star that's going to be here for the next 6 years. No, he's going to probably retire after that fight. So, what I'm saying is that, you know, who's going to come and become the guy that's going to be the next Floyd Mayweather? Who's going to be the next guy that's going to be the next Muhammad Ali? And in between these eras, we've had amazing, great fighters. You know, we've had, you know, Larry Holmes and you know, Marvin Hagler and tons of other fighters who just haven't became the American superstar that you can see on your Sprite commercial, or is like, you know, like the Mike Tyson effect. Like, we just don't have that no more. It just doesn't exist in America. So I don't know if Turkey's able to bring flashy boxing. I think he's just kind of taking these fighters who might be kind of okay as an attention and making them all fight each other, and maybe somebody might benefit from it. You know, Benavidez is going to win. I think so. Yeah, look at Shaq. He's on everything. Yeah, man, like everything. And don't get me wrong, Shaq has won multiple championships, and he's legitimately like a Hall of Famer. You know what I mean? One of the best centers of all time. One of the best basketball players of all time. So, but once you kind of get in a position like that, like when you're multi-division and done a whole bunch of things like that, say what? Bro, you need to forget about them guys, focus on new ones and support them as they're. No, for sure. Like, look, if you haven't noticed, over, like, all right, so I just interviewed Juan Manuel Lopez. This is gonna sound crazy. Juan Manuel Lopez has a son, and the interview is gonna be dropping. He's turning pro on Top Rank, and he's gonna be fighting on Keyshawn's undercard. Juan Manuel Lopez's son is a boxer, and not just a boxer. Juan Manuel was an Olympic boxer. His son Juan Mita is also an Olympic boxer. This is the first time I've heard of a father and a son both being Olympic boxers. They're the first Puerto Rican Olympic boxing dad and son, which is amazing. And his son lost to the gold medalist, the one who won the gold medal in the first round. So you lost to the gold medalist. Like, okay, no big deal. So, like, I'm definitely focusing on, like, the next generations. So I agree with you. You know, Abdullah Mason's been a kid I've been covering for a very long time. Essentially, I was the first person to interview Cormel on FightHype. You know, we got a lot of new guys up on the scene. You know, Shoes coming up. You know, we got there's this kid named Troy Nash, who, like, you guys hear about Cormel, but then you heard about Zaquan Moses because Shakur's cousin, right? But Shakur's cousin beat Cormel, and everyone's like, oh snap, Zay beat Cormel, so he must be good. Well, Troy Nash is the guy that beat Zaquan, who beat Cormel in amateurs. You know what I mean? So I got Troy Nash up. You know, and he's sparred Keyshawn, Shakur. He's been around Bud. You know what I mean? So, like, that's a kid you need to keep an eye out. You know, shoot, let me scroll down. Avius Griffin is an up-and-coming welterweight trained by Bomac. Lester Martinez, a 168 guy that's just knocking, you know, down doors. There's this guy named Najee Lopez on Pro Box that I need to get on. You know, there's a lot of people. So I agree with you. And that's what we'll try. We'll try to start focusing on the next guys, as well as covering the current guys, because at the end of the day, you know, there's more than just a couple of names in the sport of boxing, you know, and there's a lot of good champions out here that don't get the recognition. You know, Rafael Espinoza might fight Nick Ball, which is a very fun, exciting fight. There's a lot of good stuff. There's Keith Colon that someone interviewed that we got on here. Jaya Pataya is coming up. There's just so many talented kids. As crazy as it sounds too, Lamont Roach has a brother in the amateur that was great in the amateurs, I heard, and he just, he's pro now. He's fighting on Pro Box. I didn't get to see the Pro Box card. Amari Jones, the bronze medalist that Eddie Hearn just signed, and then we got him up. So there's a lot of talent. Manny Chance, Keon Davis, you know what I mean? I could do this all day. So yeah, I agree with you. Turkey Sandwich, stupid. The Ring Awards, the trailers. American boxing scene is moving towards a culturalization that is only about talk and no action. No one's fighting. It is all talk. It's kind of like, I don't want to sound like an old man with you, but it's like, don't get me wrong. It's always been like the best didn't always fight the best, and there's always about money, right? Price fighting. But there was always like, it always felt like the idea was to be undisputed, but it didn't really matter because it was more about like, who did we want you to fight? If he had a belt or he didn't, if he didn't have a belt, we need you to fight him. As long as you fight the guys we want you to fight, that's what matters, and undisputed could be like a piece that falls on your lap because the person you face happens to have all 4 belts. So like now you want to fight that guy, which maybe many people don't feel is the best, or maybe even top 3 or top 4, So I think the belts and undisputed is a good measuring stick, but at the end of the day, like, we already know who we want everyone to fight. Who their opposition and opponents. And back in the day, it seemed like if we didn't get all of them, we got at least about 70, 80%. Now we get about 20% of that, and they write off 1 or 2 fights and they're like, oh, I beat that guy. So what do you got to say? Well, there's 5 other guys. And if you beat three of those 5 and plus you got that 1, then yeah, I'll give you a lot. So I agree, the whole undisputed thing really kind of oversaturated the sport, and I'm not taking away like I think Terrence had a great welterweight undisputed. I think Usyk had a great undisputed. Anyway, beating Fulton was a good. There's meaningful undisputeds, but it's because the fight was a fight with or without the belt was meaningful. If Usyk and Fury didn't have the belts on the line, it still mattered. Spencer and Crawford with or without the belts. Let's say if Boots had to take the IBF belt and we only got Crawford and Spence, right? For 3 belts, who cares? You know what I mean? Who cares? Like in our eyes, we know that was a fight regardless. Fulton and Inoue, who cares? Like that was a fight. Inoue was coming up. Fulton was viewed as the best at that time in that weight. Makes sense, right? I get the Devin beating Kambosos because of the Teofimo Lopez. You had to go that route. I respect that Lomachenko was the guy like right after it, but we never got the Teofimo Lopez fight. You know what I mean? So it's more than just collecting 1 belt. I think it's more about cleaning out your division. And I think if we focus more about cleaning out the division more than just saying like you were undisputed, then it makes more sense to crown that person as like the best of the division. Like I feel like, and it's not to shit on Jaron Ennis in this case, but he's fighting Stan Jonas and they're already throwing the Ring Magazine belt in. And I get it. They're like, oh, Brian Norman just got in. Mario Barnes doesn't look great. But why is that fight the Ring Magazine belt? Like, these guys haven't really defended their titles. Like, they haven't shown their welterweight merit. So for them to get the lineal belt, it's kind of like, was the other champions chopped liver? Like, what other welterweights has Jaron fought? What other champions have Stan Jonas fought? So we're just going to just present the Ring Magazine lineal belt and say, like, this is the best guy in the division because they managed to get a unification across? No. There's other fights in the division that must get made, and that's what really we care about. You know what I mean? And when you kind of have definitively shown that you have beaten 5 or 6 of the top 10 guys, in that weight class, then that's what we're talking about. You know what I mean? And I think that's what Benavidez is trying to do. You know, he's trying to fight the names around the top 10, and he's trying, even if he can't get Canelo. And I respect that, you know? Devin watered down to Undisputed. Devin's Undisputed was the most non-meaningful. You know, that Kambosos win is not going to age well, you know? It's a fight that needed to happen, you know? It was the missing piece. Kambosos was originally going to go fight Lomachenko, but yeah, I mean, it's a very anticlimactic Undisputed in hindsight now, knowing where Kambosos' career has went. And, you know, really at the end of the day, it's a fighter who didn't clean out the division, you know? I know he tried to go fight Ryan after it, and it didn't really work in his favor. But, you know, Undisputed at a certain point doesn't matter unless you're fighting, you know, if Kambosos cleaned out the division and then you fighting him while you did, you know, some of the work on the side, then yeah, then it makes sense. You know, Crawford and Spence, these guys have been cleaning out the welterweight division, you know, for a while. And so when they fought, it really felt like there was nobody else but Boots. But Boots is like the guy that's coming up. That's how I perceived it. Boots is overrated. Boots isn't proven. And that's where I think the Stanionis fight is definitely going to show what he brings. So I think he has talent, you know what I mean? But I think right now he's not showing his potential to be great. He's showing his potential to be good. And if everyone who said that he was super great and always performed super good, then yeah, he's a little overrated in that sense. But I think he's not proven, and I think until he proves himself, I think that's when we can give him credit, because he really hasn't proved himself at all. Well, I mean, he hasn't done anything. He hasn't fought nowhere near the competition, to the merit, the attention he gets. He didn't look good in his last 2 fights, and you know, he has a unification fight. So now, at the end of the day, I think, you know, he has an opportunity to show if he's better than good, but he's just a good fighter right now, you know? So I mirror those statements. Sadly, Jake Paul is the American superstar in a different audience. Oh, no. Jake Paul for sure is definitely the American superstar, even with the boxing audience, because they're going to watch, you know? He's got the attention. You know, now is he like the best boxer? Absolutely not. Yeah, he fought Loma after. He definitely fought Loma after. And you know, I did edge Devin as the winner, but I always question, like, was I, you know, everyone always says like Loma won the fight. Like when I was at the fight, I mean, everybody said Loma won the fight. And I'm sitting here with like Mike Coppinger and like I think 2 other people, and I'm just like, am I tripping? Like, I thought the fight was great. I thought the fight was competitive, you know. I went back and watched it again, and I see how it can go either or. But it almost seems like nobody gave Devin, like, that fight. So, but, yeah, you know, he beat Kambosos. He beat Lomachenko in a very close fight. And then goes up, fights Regis, and then, you know, essentially lost to Ryan Garcia, you know. I mean, we'll see. I mean, Austrian Ryan Garcia, but we'll see, man. They're allegedly supposed to do a rematch, you know. That was a lot of damage, you know, that Devin took in that fight. And if you go back and look at like Julio Cesar Chavez and Medrick Taylor won the fight, you know. Richard Steele stopped the fight 2 seconds before, but let's just say like he let the fight go through. Medrick Taylor still wasn't the same fighter afterwards, even if they gave him the victory, because he took so much punishment. So I don't know what type of internal punishment that Devin took, but we'll see in the Ramirez fight. He might not be the same fighter. You know what I mean? He had a lot of heart in that fight. I'll give him credit. You know, the punishment was definitely there. So, but it's not. I'm not here to harp, on Devin. I think Devin was able to get the Lomachenko fight and fight him, so he gets the merit for that. But a lot of people felt that he lost that fight, so I don't think Rolly has enough power to really hurt Ryan. Man, Albert, you tripping. Rolly has power. Rolly has power for sure. It's more like who lands first. Like I'm telling you right now, Tank will probably say Rolly punches harder than Ryan. Like, Rolly punches hard as shit. So, don't be surprised if Rolly does connect, and hurts Ryan. Now, is that going to happen? We'll see. American boxing is so bad that, Ron, you have a 3-hour chat on who's ducking who bullshit talking dads. Pretty much, man. It's at a point where, some of these guys need to kind of just B-side themselves so that they can A-side themselves later on in life. And I think Turkey is just going to spoil more fighters throughout this. So, who you got, Fulton and Brandon? I got Brandon Figueroa in this rematch. No one's fighting. Wrong culture has taken over boxing. No skill showcase that takes the point that was out of the point. Yeah. Yeah, but stop competing with them legends. Focus on them now and judge them based on what they are becoming, not what you would like them to be. Tyson, Jordan, Woods, everybody in the plant knows them names. I wonder who will be the next big name for boxing like Tyson. Well, no, I agree. I mean, look, I'm not saying like the next fighter has to fight like the last fighter because every fighter fights different. Like Sugar Ray didn't fight like Ali. Mike Tyson didn't fight like Sugar Ray. Floyd didn't fight like Sugar Ray. You know what I mean? But what I'm saying is like what they did was they were able to connect with an audience outside of boxing fans. And whatever you need to do, you have to figure that out. And it might be like you might have to get into hip-hop culture, like Tank does a really good job with that. You might have to get into comedy shticks. You might have to get into middle-aged white women who drive suburban vans to buy. Floyd was Dancing with the Stars. He was everywhere. He was you got to think like when Floyd was presented Dancing with the Stars, you think he was like, hell yeah, I want to do that shit? No, he's probably like, what the hell? I got to dance? What? This looks stupid. And someone in him probably had a talk, and he was like, you know what? This is pretty smart. And he went out and did it, and he put his money made aside and put on Pretty Boy, clean cut, smiling white teeth, and started dancing. And people fell in love with him from that. You'll be surprised what people fall in love with your favorite fighters for. And it's not necessarily boxing. So, that's all, and I'm not comparing them as like what they need to do. Like Mike Tyson's, like he was more like a guy that just meteorically just hit the scene and everyone was just obsessed. Like, who is this guy? But that's just who he was, I think Tank is a little bit like Mike Tyson, just not all the way there, I think a couple fights, no-name fights, will get him there. Ryan has helped that a lot. I really like Kiki Torres and Nico Ali. There's this new guy, David Maui, only 2-0. He was on Starbox and KO'd Zachary Davis. Oh, okay. I know Zachary Davis. Would like to see. Okay. I'll check him out. What about Ryan versus Tank? The rematch? Tank. I got Tank over Ryan 9 times out of 10. Only because anything could happen in a fight. Kind of agree with Elver. Pro Box has Najee Lopez, who's actually fighting, young and fighting live competition. We need to hear about fighters like that. A lot of states are just pass. Actually, you just named Najee Lopez. Knew his family personally. Google Najee history and a child. Yeah, I'm gonna get Najee. Look, I'm gonna get Najee Lopez on FightHype. We're gonna make that happen, 1,000%. Keith Thurman coming back and he ain't playing. We'll see, you know. He has a nice little fighting out in Australia. You know, a comeback fight. You know, we have to see. I think I saw a tweet. Someone says like he's like months away from being qualified to enter the Hall of Fame. Like he's been out of the ring for so long that he can qualify for the Hall of Fame. I'm like, that is insane. But yeah, I got a lot of kids. There's this kid named Ben Johnson. I fucked up. I got to reach out to him again. Dad duties first, you know. I had to put my son asleep. I scheduled an interview, and you know, at that moment, he you know, was waiting. I passed out with my son, putting him to sleep. He went on Pro Box and beat the living shit out of this guy in one round. So he trains out in DC. You know, he seems like a strong, durable kid, and you know, my goal was to give a lot of these people exposure and attention. Who else? There's this kid. I'm trying to think. I forgot. There's so many talented kids out there. So, trust me, I'll be more than ready to get these guys an opportunity, you know, to get more attention while these other guys slowly get into their big professional fights and ride off in the sunset or not fight each other. So, but ultimately at the end of the day, you know, there's more than one or two fighters will get the job done, and we'll be here to cover it. So, but I've been on for about like 2.5 hours. I just want to just do a live reaction to this Grand Arrivals. It was not that great, I'll be honest, as in the hosting. But David Benavidez looked sharp, looked ready. David Morrell looked mentally prepared. You know, Fulton, Figueroa should be a fun little scrap. So at the end of the day, I'll be here to do a live for the press conference. I'll be here to do a live for the weigh-in. And then I'll do a live reaction to the fight. I'll actually have some guests popping up doing some calls with me on that night. So definitely keep an eye on Saturday. We're going to do a whole live reaction to the card. And then even Sunday, we'll do one for Clarissa. And then I'll be slowly packing my bags. New York for Keyshawn Davis. And then Gervonta Davis. And then I might go to Jaron Ennis versus Stan Jonas out in Atlantic City. And I'll probably go to Rolly versus Ryan. So there's a lot of fights. So these lives will pop up, but you'll start seeing me back in the field doing my thing. So, but as always, I appreciate you guys rocking with me. You know, this was a cool little, nice little live. We did our thing, and I'll be back tomorrow around what time? What time? Also tomorrow, there should be a whole bunch of Keyshawn Davis content coming through. He's supposed to have like a media workout event going on, so expect to see a lot of that. David Benavidez. What time is for tomorrow? Tomorrow will be press conference kind of earlier, about 3 p.m. Yeah, so be here to do a press conference reaction, and should be good. So you guys have a good one. Appreciate you guys rocking with me as always. Attorney Bailey, Wayne, Southpaw. Hope you get that plaque soon, man. I'm rooting for you, man. Keep doing your thing. Keep grinding. Albert, D-Field. When Thurman fights, what's it going to be on? I actually have no idea. I know it's going to be in Australia. Mexican Boxing #1. What's up, man? Facts. Appreciate you always coming to support it, man. E92. Really, Freddie. All you guys, man. The Mexican G. You know, I appreciate all you guys, man. And really, at the end of the day, you guys keep expressing yourself, keep having your opinions. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, it's boxing. It's not that serious. You know, we love the sport, but don't get caught up in the world too much. Have some fun. Benavidez looks in shape and fast in his workout. Morrell, yo, he did. You know, you caught me on my exiting speech, but I noticed that right away. Benavidez' media workout made me feel like maybe the fight isn't as close as I thought it would be. So I did pick Benavidez, but that media workout just showed me, man, That boy is ready. That boy ready for some David Morrell, man. David Morrell, what? The question is David Morrell ready for Benavidez? And I think he is. So, but appreciate it, Albert. Cool. Peace out, man. We'll do some lives this week. So, and as always, stay. Oh, by the way, just stay locked on FightHype. We got Jose Benavidez. We got Jim Lampley, his wifey. You know, some content's coming up. So, if you want to check some of the stuff out that we got, they're dropping right now. So, right when the live gets out, just go hit the page. There's some interviews if they interest you. You guys have a good night. Awesome. Appreciate it. Peace.